All right, we are on. I got the master of mycelium, the fucking fungi, dealing fungi in Adelaide. You might know him as Westside Mushies, but I know him as Adam now. How you going?
Hey brother, thanks for having us in.
It's been a while in the making.
I know, talking shit about it for that long.
It's been a while.
It's like we're besties, but I've never fucking even met you.
Yeah, it's been, but your business has grown heaps since we first even started talking.
Yeah, yes and no. Oh,
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been over a year. When did old mate open Newry?
You were there?
No, I'm saying, when did he open that? Because we chatted around that time. I reckon he had his...
A year and a half at least.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Almost a year and a half, I'd say. Yeah. And you've just been have you always grown mushrooms, or where does that...
No. So, it sort of started around the time of the first lockdown, like the COVID lockdown. Like, it was the first time I even seen it, or I'd even heard of it. Like, I didn't know anything about it before that. Don't have any background in it. Don't know anyone else that does it.
What did you do before?
I've done all sorts of stuff. Like, I've been around the traps. I'm like in my 40s now, so like my job just before that, immediately before that, was just sort of in between jobs, not knowing what I was going to do next. So I think when the lockdowns hit, I had been helping my brother-in-law doing like landscaping, which is, when you're 40, doing that for the first time is not a good idea.
It's not ideal.
The old man body just... I dug it because, like, the dudes I was working with, like, it's like you're working with the boys and talking shit, but I had fucking tennis elbow, like, wanker's wrist, like, everything, like, just from, like, all this hard work that the soft body was not used to doing. So, but before that, I mean, I've had heaps of jobs. Like,
So you've grown the business, like, pretty big in the short amount of time, because you stock some really nice restaurants and shit.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like, if you just see it online, like on Instagram, which is where we met and where, like, most people sort of see it, like, I mean, everyone knows, like, you can't believe everything you see on Instagram. Like, I try and keep it pretty real. Like, I don't talk shit on there. Like, I've always spoken about my ups and downs and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I guess give yourself credit. That there are some really cool venues and, like, big name venues, big name chefs. So yeah, I mean, in that aspect, it's a bit of a trip, but at the same time, like, I'm a sole trader. Like, I don't have employees and shit, so it's not like, still haven't paid that much tax. Like, getting the first couple of years, pouring everything back in. So I'm not like Mush Lord. I'm the mushy whisperer, but I'm not like the Mush Lord yet.
And where were you just, like, on YouTube one day? Did you take a dose of mushrooms and you were like, I need to grow these? What the fuck was the process?
Nah. I was just sitting on the couch, like, 2-3 in the morning. It's like when you're watching YouTube and, like, it just, you click on one thing and then it feeds you something else, and then, like, after 2 or 3 hours, you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Like, what's this shit? Like, I've never even... But you end up there, and so, I ended up watching these videos, and I think it was, like, these dudes in Ireland or, like, overseas. It was in Ireland, like, growing mushies in shipping containers in, like, there was one, like, growing it in, like, a car park, like, in a city, an underground car park, like, just all this stuff that I was like, what? Like, I've never even heard of this. I was sort of attracted to it just because they're, like, it's just such a weird, like, they're like these alien sort of things, like the way they grow. And I was a bit of I like biology at school. Like, I always did well in biology, but never did anything with it.
It's different to growing anything else, isn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. I mean, they're the opposite of plants in the sense, like, they're more closely related to humans than plants. So, like, they breathe oxygen like us. Like, their conditions, like, if someone had a grow room and they were growing plants in, like, we're basically the opposite. So, like, we're adding humidity, like, we're adding oxygen, whereas, like, plants...
Sunlight good for or bad?
What's that?
Light is good for or bad for mushroom?
Well, mushrooms like oxygen, they like cold, they like high humidity. Yeah. So, I mean, it's sort of, it's pretty different to growing plants and things like that. It's just, I just got attracted to, like, the weirdness of it. Like, they just all look so weird, like all these crazy varieties that look so different. And
it was some funky fucking mushrooms as well.
Yeah, I know. Well, I never even knew they existed, man. Like, I was like... obviously everyone knows button mushrooms and shit like that, but I don't know. Like
You grow lion's manes?
Yeah. Grow lion's mane. Like they're probably like some of the coolest looking ones. They're super trendy right now. Like, I guess.
What do they taste like? Because I know they got it's big at the moment because of the health benefits and all the wanky kind of things that people are putting it into, like capsules and shit. But what's the texture like?
Honestly, man, like
Is it like an enoki?
nah, it's not like anything. Like,
Yeah, right.
I told people for ages, like I'll go in, because you obviously go in to meet chefs, and like some chefs haven't tried it, so like they ask you, if you imagine like someone selling wine, like you give tasting notes and this and that, and I'm like if someone's drinking wine and they tell me, they can fucking, it's like a tannin leathery rah-de-dah, I'm like, bruh, it tastes like wine, like it's just like, what are you talking about? So like I sort of, the first few times I tried to sort of do that, because like you can read other people's descriptions and stuff, but like after a while I'm like, I just feel whacked like saying it, because like to me when I ate it, I don't like it. Like it tastes like shit to me. Like,
Really?
But that's me cooking.
Texturally or taste wise?
Yeah, it's pretty challenging texture wise as well. Like
Really?
it's like like.
Is it gummy or?
But I'm a terrible cook. Like so, I fuck up most of my mushrooms. I've had my mushrooms that I destroy at
I've
home.
seen your cooking stories. You're not that bad. There's worse.
Yeah, but the good ones that will like
Yeah, you haven't
crumb it,
posted
fry
the
it,
failures.
crumb it, fry it, put some sauce on it, and chuck it in a burger. Like you can do that with probably like anything. Like you could grab something off this table, if you crumb it and like put the right sauce on it, you could probably be able to eat it.
Yeah.
But like I have had it at restaurants, and like it is good. I like it personally. Like you can compress it, and people who sort of like follow food things, or I don't know, there's probably not that many vegans on here like watching shit, but a lot of those dudes, like they've come up with a way where you compress it and season it, and like sort of, you can either smoke it and barbecue it and like give it sort of the look and the feel of a steak. They'll say that it's a replacement for steak, but it's not. Like, obviously
Nothing
steak's always
is.
better, yeah. But like it's definitely, I've had ways where chefs prepared it and it was comparable to like a beef cheek kind of situation.
Yeah, right.
And like he had the beef cheek and the lion's mane side by side. It looked the same coloration, taste similar. Like that all probably comes down to the seasoning and the preparation. But yeah, it's definitely a mushroom that people love. Like people froth it. Like they reckon it's amazing. But yeah, it's just not my favourite.
And while we're...
I'm happy to sell it though.
You're happy to sell it
Because it's a little bit more expensive. And if people want it, then
I'm gonna guess. Is it a 36.44 a kilo?
No. If so, like wholesale it's 50. Like I sell
50?
it for flat 50. Yeah. I used to do like 55 for small orders, but then I don't really do small orders anymore because I don't like make any money off it. Like I don't.
Depending, obviously, every mushroom's different. But from like planting to harvesting, what's the time?
So yeah, there's
Everything's different, I imagine.
yeah, of course, but there's like ones the quickest crop cycle is like variations of oyster mushrooms.
Yeah, you do those pink or red oysters
Yeah, so there's
as
like
well.
pink ones, there's golden ones, there's white one, winter white, there's summer white, there's tan, there's I don't know, there's probably like 7 or 8 different
Is
oysters.
it what's that, like 8 weeks?
Nah.
Less.
Quicker, yeah. So like the quickest one like is probably like 24, 25 days, like certainly under 4 weeks, just under 4 weeks.
No shit.
Yeah. And then, so lion's mane is probably 5 weeks. There's coral tooth, which is like a variation of lion's mane. Is that noise? I'll stop tapping my foot.
Is that you?
Yeah.
I was wondering what that was.
When I'm nervous or when I'm talking shit, I don't know, I just tap my foot.
Bit of both.
So, yeah, it's a good indicator for anyone. If I'm telling fibs, I'll just be like, tap.
You'd be like, yeah, no, this has to be 65 a kilo.
Yeah. Oh, mad value.
I need to make my money.
I don't even make any money. Hope no one touches my Bentley out there.
Yeah, that's all right. I'll get the missus to park her car behind it so no one steals it.
It'll be on Besser blocks, mate. I was a bit
no.
scared driving out here.
You said you were at the top of fucking Brighton Road. You're on the right. No, you said the bottom. You're at the wrong bottom. You're at the top of it.
That's what.
When you called me.
Nah. Well, I bumped into someone like who I used to play footy with at the shoes.
Oh.
So I had to put some petrol in, and then I saw old mate.
You used to play shoeies?
Yeah.
Really?
Only 1.5 years. Yeah.
Are you a South rat?
Nah, I just had the misfortune of dating someone down this way once. So
Yeah, right. One of them southern girls.
Yeah, I was like, oh, yeah, fuck it, I'd love to drive an hour to footy training twice a week and play, and then...
So you would have learned not doing any of this and then just jumping into it. I imagine you have had some fucking catastrophic failures growing wise.
Yeah. We weren't talking it like it's past tense either. Like, it still happens occasionally. But, yeah, I mean, I guess you don't know what you don't know. And with me, I mean, I sort of launched it into a business straight away. Like, before I'd even... it was a business before I'd even harvested anything. Well, it wasn't a business before I harvested anything, but like I'd enrolled in a business course. So this is kind of funny. So like that little timeline from when I found that stuff on YouTube, like that I was saying about how I learnt about it. I just got sucked in that night. So like I ordered 2 or 3 books that night, like textbooks. There was like one like Mushies for dummies, you know, like just a basic stuff, and then one sort of in the middle, and then like a full nerd one, like, you know, with stuff that I probably still don't understand. And then I ordered a little grow kit, which was like ready to grow. Had the grow kit. That's like about a 10-day thing, like, because it's all just set. It's at the last stage. And like by the time they were coming out, I was watching them every day. I was like, these things are crazy. Like, it's like just super interesting. And there wasn't really anyone doing it in Adelaide, so I was like, I'm gonna do it. Like,
there's not really any other.
There's a couple. Like, there's a cool place that does it down south. There's one in the Barossa, but
the goats, Foodland. Those aren't even mushrooms sometimes.
Don't even get me started about supermarket mushrooms. Fuck me. Hey, all right.
Have you become a mushroom snob?
Nah, like you don't even need to know what a mushroom is to, like, if you picked one of those up in the supermarket and just look at the state of it, like, you can tell, like, is that safe to eat? Like,
because mushrooms deteriorate very quickly.
Yeah, they do, and it's just unbelievable. Like, the state. That was one of the things that gave me encouragement to say, all right, there's work to be done here. Like, there's a space where, like, if someone can provide high quality mushrooms and get it to people on the day they harvest them, or, like, you know, shortly thereafter, outside of 1 or 2 people at farmers markets, you know, you're not going to get them at the supermarkets ever.
Yeah,
like, they're just shocking. Is there something at the supermarkets? I'm getting fired up.
Yeah,
supermarkets. Oh, fuck. Like, is there anything at the supermarkets, like walking around food wise, that you can look at and visually it looks off and has mold growing on it and looks like it might be dangerous to eat? Can you think of another food item?
The only other thing I can think of is raspberries and shit.
Yeah, so
that's the only thing, because they obviously have a short shelf life as well. So I've had punnets of strawberries that are fucking gross before, but besides that, the mushrooms always look terrible.
Yeah,
or the gourmet mixes that they charge like $28 for, and it's fucking just like pus. It's like a couple of gnocchis and
and like even worse, like a lot of them are from Korea, China, you know, overseas, so that just makes it even worse.
So what do they fucking spray with them for those to make the trip over?
Dude, that's what I want to know. Like I've had things in my fridge, so like if I forget about something in the fridge and it's been in there for 2 weeks, it still looks better than that.
Yeah.
And I just think, like, it's on have you ordered stuff from overseas and it's on a ship and you can watch the tracking and it takes like how long? How long does it take?
Fucking weeks.
Months. Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's bad.
Can you go? You can't grow, like, say, pine mushrooms and stuff in that kind of environment, can you?
Nah, just like they sort of operate on a different sort of. So there's like the ones I grow. It's called saprify, and I'm self-taught. So if there's any like actual like mushroom doctors and shit, or like people that know what they're talking about,
there's no doctors in this shed, mate.
Yeah, sick, so I can just say whatever I want. That suits me. But yeah, they're saprophytes. So like they break down. They're just primary decomposers. So like they grow on dead logs, sawdust.
Yeah.
You know. So that's the things we do. So we can recreate that environments because like we grow, we get the sawdust, we hydrate it, we do whatever we do. They grow. Whereas like the pineys, porcinis, shit like that, it's mycorrhizal. So they work with the host plant. So like they'll be in the forest. Like, if you ever, like, people who know, like, where to look for pineys, like, you go to the pine forests. Yeah, if porcinis, like, you know, you go looking around oak, I think it's oak trees and pine trees, and they grow with the tree. So it's not something that you can, like, replicate indoors or, you know, like, you know, in a similar sort of environment to what I have. Growing conditions, like, yes, but, like, the actual getting them to do it, I just don't, yeah, it's not a thing.
I had a guest, I won't say his name, I had a guest that came on once and he was driving down and he was like 10 minutes late. I was like, "Whoa, what happened to you?" He's like, "Oh, I fucking seen this cunt on the side of the road," and he pulled out an Amanita muscara. It's like
the big red ones.
Big fucking red ones that make you, they're really fucking hectic as well, and I think they're poisonous unless you treat them properly. And he just pounded it down, and I was like, some of it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's like really bad for you, dude, like really poisonous. And yeah, he ended up going to, it fucked him up really bad.
Like crook.
Yeah, we couldn't do the podcast.
Bro. Cheap thrills.
But he just found it on the side of the road and munged it down. While we're coherent and talking normal, you got a big event. So this is like probably the biggest event or the first event you were deciding to do?
I've had a couple of events. Like,
but this is your
in the mushy shed. So like, the initially, like when I was first growing, like it was just sort of like at home. Started in the spare room and then had cool rooms at the folks' house. Sort of like, you know, classic small business. Like you start a little space, you got no money to have your own space, so you sort of like chew up your house, your friend's house, you know, like, and you grow that way. But now I've got my own place in Royal Park. So yeah, I've always, since I've had that, had this sort of dream and this idea of incorporating like the food with local artists and as in street art, traditional art, but also like local MCs, local musicians, just anyone local, like with talent that's like on a cool vibe. And yeah, just sort of bringing it all together like in a pretty unintrusive environment. Like it's a shed, it's a fucking shed, man. Like it's not pretentious, it's just like a chill place where, I don't know, like it was just, I've had this dream of like having these events. So I've had a couple, like we've had a few where we get chefs in, like good name chefs from like, you know, decent venues, and get just like random local rappers and artists and put it all together, like have live art, have like little sets from the artists, and then like have the chefs cooking up this fancy food using mostly my mushrooms. And yeah, we've had a couple of them, but yeah, it's been on the agenda to sort of up it and you know, really have a proper crack, but it's probably dragged on for like a year or so because I don't know, it's all a bit scary to be honest, like because I'm not from that background. But yeah, we've got a pretty rad one coming up. So, yeah, I don't know. Doesn't even sort of seem real. I don't know.
Dates?
So, yeah, Saturday, 6th of April is the next one. So I've got this concept like collision courses. I'm calling it collision courses. So like it's based around what I just said, like bringing, you know, like perhaps like a, you know, like a rapper in again with the fancy food, like having these chefs and like bringing people together, like as in the community who are doing shit that they wouldn't usually do. So like at the first one, like when I had the side of my mushy shed like blasted, we had slops and beans like do like this mad piece on the side.
Is that where the piece came from?
That was the first one, so that's been gone over since then. The idea initially was it was just going to get constantly refreshed, like, you know, it was going to be every 3 months, you know, just like a place for local riders and shit to do their thing, like out in the open, without having to fucking jump fences and sneak around at night, you know, and to be able to share it with general people, like. So we did that with the first one, and it was wild, like, you know, we had people, I don't know, like, so I would say I'm from the west side, like I've got family members from the east side who are like, you know, a little bit la-di-da, like a bit from the other spectrum, and to see the people in the same place, like doing the same thing. So like I had this dude, he's a lawyer, and he's like listening to these rappers, and he's like, oh, gee, wow, it's they're almost like poets, aren't they? And I'm like, no shit, bro, like they're talented.
That's exactly what they are.
Yeah, and then like, you know, you'll see the dudes outside who are like spraying the side of the wall like they're eating some like coral tooth tempura fucking like, or like king oyster mushroom ice cream. They're like, oh wow, like what's this? Can you get me some more? And it's like it gave me a real kick, like seeing the people experience stuff they hadn't done before. So yeah, like that sort of gave me the confidence to want to grow it and make it at least a quarterly thing. But then, you know, life gets in the way. Like the core business is always like me supplying mushrooms, so that's like I'm still learning that. So like you can't sort of get sidetracked on side missions and neglect, you know, where the money's coming in. But yeah, so we got this one on the 6th of April. We finally like bit the bullet and going large. So I asked Brad Strut to come. So I don't know, like he's probably my favourite rapper ever in Australia. Like he's probably your favourite rapper's favourite rapper. Like very accomplished. And yeah, so that's happening. But it's, I don't know, it's like not a traditional hip hop show. Like we've got 4 chefs coming in, dudes that like worked at Lucas, Bloom, like Carton in the city, another dude who's used to work at Bloom, who's now like runs his own like small market garden, urban grow boy in the hills. So they're like cooking up mad, like, you know, fancy like a gourmet flight of food. And then that sort of, it's like there's no supports, like it's just, you're in there for like probably 3 hours. Strut and Doc Felix are coming across. So Doc Felix, he's like the DJ. He's putting together like this mad curated thing. It's not like classic banger, like you know, like going nuts kind of stuff. It's like carefully selected, you know, things. So it's like, it's an experience.
Paired it with the food.
Not so much the food. I haven't given him like the menu and say, hey, can you like look at this menu and like see what songs come to your mind or anything. Like, it's not like that, like, not that wanky. But like,
it's a different experience.
Yeah, it's like something that I haven't seen before. I don't think they've done that before.
I don't think many rappers would have done that before.
No, and yeah, it's sort of like, I don't know, it's a little bit scary to do it because, you know, like you think, well, like classic hip hop, like hardcore hip hop heads, like they might think, what the fuck is this shit? Like, play Monopoly, like shut the fuck, like, you know, where's my beam? Like, you know, let's wreck the joint. But it's not supposed to be like that. It's more like aimed at appreciating like the poetry, the wordplay. You know, he's a Strut's like very accomplished, so you know, like he's going to put something together. I'm sure that's going to be very impressive for people. And yeah, the dudes that are cooking up the food, like you know, they're as good as you'll get in Adelaide. Like, so yeah, it's happening. 6th of April, Saturday, 6th of April. Tickets coming out, like they'll probably be out by the time this comes out.
And where this will come out, I'll aim at when the tickets come out. Sorry again.
Well, I'm probably going to release the tickets. Like, what's the date today?
I can tell you right now. It is the 6th.
Yeah, so they'll be out like by the 10th-ish.
All right, and where can people find them, and how much will they be?
It's on my Instagram. Like, if you go to my Instagram page, WestsideMushies, like I'm just running it through my Square, like my Square site. So there'll be the link in the bio, Facebook as well. But yeah, it's going to be like super intimate. Like it's a small venue. Like, you know, it's a food event, so it's not hundreds of people. Like we're looking at 70 tickets, maybe 80.
I will be there. So anyone who watches the podcast, if you like good music and good food, make sure you're there. And
old school hip hop, like traditional hip hop. Yeah, like it's not something that you're going to see. Like,
use code SESH at checkout and get no discount. But for everyone that watches this podcast that buys a ticket, I get a free beer.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I can handle that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
No, good on you.
Very
Do you know what
nerve-wracking.
to come? Is it almost like once say this night does everything you imagined and the dust settled and then everyone's fucking gone and it's a success, that'll fucking be such a happy moment for you.
Oh yeah, it'll be a big relief. Honestly, the first big relief will just to see the tickets sell, because like
How many
he's
is
flying
it?
over.
Did
like,
you say 70 or 80?
Yeah, it's 80 is what we spoke about, but like the more I look at the space, I'm like,
You don't want it to be too...
Yeah, well, we're happy for it to be like shoulder to shoulder for the performances.
Is
like,
it going to be
what-
seated?
Nah, it's all standing.
Yeah.
It's not even going to be a stage, so he's going to be in amongst the people,
That's sick.
which is another sort of unique thing. And that's what, like, talking to Brad, like, that's what he wants. Like, it's, you know, with some of his latest releases that he was doing, he was saying, like, he's like sort of stripping it back to the old days where it's raw and, you know, it's not like something that's super polished and super. I don't say that in a bad way. I say that as in like it's raw, like it's like, you know, relatable and you know, for the people, and you know, obviously something that he digs. Otherwise, he would have told me to fuck off, and something I'm excited about. So I think it's going to be good, man. Like,
Is it a bit of a spin out as an old school Australian hip hop head to talk to him?
Yeah, no, it has been fun. Like it has been weird. Like, I mean, I'm old enough now where I'm not don't really fanboy about anyone, but at the same time, like, you still do get little feelings where you're like, oh wow, this is like, you know, this is cool. Like, I never thought this would happen or whatnot. But yeah, but he's like super cool to deal with, man. Like, he's very friendly, like with me, and very professional, and yeah, but it's definitely a trip. Like, yeah, like I got one mate who grows mushrooms in Ballarat, and he's like a mad hip hop, like more than me. Like old school, like he loves taunts and like gutter, like, you know, proper old school.
I just got onto that taunts the other day because when I released that clip of who were the OGs or like of Australian hip hop, the amount of people that tagged taunts was insane.
Yeah. So like, he's way more into it than me. So like, during the planning process, obviously you got to keep it on the DL. You can't tell people about it. A, because it might not happen, and B, you know, you're going to want to present it in the right way. So, but you always, like, someone always tells one person, you know what I mean? So, like, I was like, mate, you're not going to fucking believe, like, what's going on here. And, like, just, like, send him, like, a, you know, like a photo or something, I don't know. And he's like, nah, you're joking. Like, what, in the mushy shed? Like, what? So, it's like, it is a trip, I won't lie, but, yeah. He's just cool to deal with, so like it's like me and you talking, like we were chatting away for a while. I met him at his last show when he was in Adelaide, and yeah, like it just felt natural, like it wasn't too crazy.
I honestly, when you told me the idea, I was like, that's such a, it probably hits different to me because I'm a massive foodie.
Yeah.
So even for me, and I love music, so it's like it's perfect for people like me.
Yeah.
Like, it just hits both.
I think that's the tricky thing, though, 'cause, like, we're a small segment. Like, we're not your average person.
It's pretty niche, but then again, you also get people that are just foodies that will want to attend to figure it out, to see what's going on, and you'll get people that love rap that will come, and hopefully they see the other end of it and they're like, oh fuck, this is dope, and they go away, like, you know what I mean?
Not to say, like, we're not trying to convert people, like, you know, we don't expect these people are going to go away and go, oh fuck, I'm going to buy all Strut's old like back catalogue, or
it's
like,
just cool night.
Yeah, it's just an experience, and that's what, to me, like, art and that sort of thing should be about. Like, people, you know, you like what you like, and you end up looking and doing the same shit, but like art and that sort of stuff and music, it's supposed to challenge you and, you know, get you thinking, try new stuff. Like, doesn't mean you're going to love it, but like, you know, get out there and try new things, because that's when, you know, if you think about when you're younger, you're going out, like the times when you ended up like doing shit that you weren't expecting, they're the best nights.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're older now. I just like sort of look at it like the people that when we listened to that shit when we were younger and like raging and stuff, I'm not out there doing that anymore.
Yeah.
But I still like that music. So like, what do? Like, there's not really an option. So that's what I'm thinking, you know, if it works, it works. That's the cool thing about it. It's just in a space like where I grow the mushies. If it's shit and everyone hates it, like, I won't do it again.
If no one buys tickets, it's just going to be you and Brad Strut in a shed eating mushrooms.
Fuck. You know, I might not be disappointed. I might lose a few grand, but I might be willing to take that hit. I might just sabotage the link and you're just gonna get fucked.
No, but so April 6th.
Yeah, April 6th, Saturday, April 6th, and it's not like a late. This is the other thing. So it's not like when you go to like gigs and you got supports, and the main act's like at midnight. Like, he's flying in, flying out. So it's going to be 5:30 to 8:30.
Yeah.
So it's different. Like, it's different, and we're going to give it a crack. And I don't know. I just think it should be good. Got some, like, you know, got proper sound and lighting people on the case. Had, you know, like proper people doing the posters up. So yeah, like taking it seriously, and yeah, it should be cool. It's just like a, not for the, I don't want to say cheesy and say like for the culture, because I'm not like in the scene or anything, but it's like just trying to give people something different from all aspects of, you know, doing something cool.
Well, you've come a long way from reading Mushroom Growing for Dummies.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I probably need to read it again, honestly. Like, I've had some fucking shockers in the last week.
Don't get me fucking started, dude, because like I get into the same thing where I'll watch someone on YouTube that want to start a venture.
Yeah.
I'm such a get rich quick kind of guy. And I
well,
fucking...
don't grow mushrooms, man.
Oh,
You're not going to get rich quick.
I went down a whole rabbit hole of growing snail farms.
Yeah, right.
Insane.
I'll tell you something. Well, here you go. I'll give you something to waste some time on. You ready?
Yes.
So, in Japan, was it you saying you're going to Japan?
I've been.
But did you say you're going again soon? That was the...
We've been umming and ahhing about going again in November, but we're going to Vietnam.
All right. Start a business tomorrow before you know anything about it, and then you'll be able to claim that trip on tax. All right. In Japan, a lot of the mushroom growers grow these bugs, these big fuck off bugs, like, you know, rhinoceros beetles.
Yeah.
You know, those bugs are about
the big motherfuckers.
They got the big claws, like, and they've got shiny, like, coloured backs and shit. They grow. That's like their side hustle. So like they love eating and hibernating and being in the substrate. So like what we grow the mushrooms in, that's like their happy place. So they grow these things and sell them as pets. So like over there, like, you know what, they all live in like shoe boxes. So I guess they can't have cats and dogs and shit.
They have little bugs.
Yeah, and no, big bugs, bro.
So they have
You've got little bugs. They've got big bugs.
Bug pets.
Yeah, and it's apparently some of them, like, it's become almost like their main hustle, and the mushrooms is the side thing. So
well, Asian people are very strange. I'm sure there's some that are worth like $18,000.
I've never looked in it enough because I just like haven't got the bandwidth to look at something. But that's your job, bro.
Dude, that could be.
I've seen the link. There's a page, and it's fucking funny. It's actually funny. The dude, I don't know, he runs it. He's obviously some Japanese dude, but every once in a while he'll post something. So, you know, the Pornhub logo. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I've
I've heard of it, but yeah. And it's like, what's it called? Bug Hub? Born Bug? I don't know. He'll just have the bugs like in the jar. So the big dude with the claws on top of the little bug with no claws, just like going, and it'll have like, I don't know, like Harry Connick Jr. or something, like playing. It's like,
all right, this channel is now a bug porn channel. Dude, you should. I got so deep into snail growing that I called this cunt up from Tasmania. He's like 78 years old. He's the only person in Australia who runs like successful snail farms.
Oh, you mean to eat? Like,
to eat.
I was like,
Dude, he slings them for like
not cheap.
$8 or $10 a snail.
Yeah, right.
And they need no room to fucking grow.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is money, because I used to smash snails when I was a kid. Like, we love snails. Greeks fucking love snails, but it's impossible to get them. You just got to kind of grow vegetables and just steal them and just purge them.
You can do that to standard garden snails.
Yeah, garden snails are good to eat.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, if you find a garden snail, just keep it for me. You put it in an onion bag.
Can you treat like a garden snail without a house the same way?
A slug?
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh.
If you Greeks would have figured that out, bro.
It'd be the same. I don't know. We'll try. I've got one.
The slimy fucking line.
I thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, in the mushy, if you've
That'd make a good episode, bros.
If you've got like...
You could say you're doing some slugs and everyone would be coming over. They'd be like, oh, thinking you get to have the party.
Have you ever had snails?
Yeah.
I don't mind. I fucking love snails. I haven't had them in years.
I had garlic snails in, I think, London when I was like little, like 13, 14.
French people don't do nice fucking...
Yeah, I don't know.
French people don't do nice snails.
You gotta see you telling your mates, even on video, like, come over. Oh,
come on, we'll do some slugs. It's just a bowl. It's just a bowl of slugs. With a side of mushrooms. What's your favourite mushroom?
Not lion's mane, obviously. I don't know, man. Like, honestly, I think just like your normal oyster mushrooms are like pretty hard to go past. Like,
oyster mushrooms are really nice and everything.
Yeah, like they're the most versatile. They're the most forgiving, like cooking wise for me if I'm cooking them. Like,
do you get sick of? You'd get so fucking sick of mushrooms.
Bro. I went for like almost a year where I didn't eat them because I was like, at the start you grow and growing,
trying them,
and you haven't always you just don't have people to sell them to. Like, so you're giving them away, and then your friends and family are like, can this cunt stop giving us fucking mushrooms? Like, they're probably taking my mushrooms and just going in the bin, like, because I was like just giving out that much mushrooms.
Does the demand overweigh the supply now?
No, I don't think so. Like, there's still heaps of venues that still just get it from the traditional wholesalers, like that shit in the punnets from either overseas or the bulk factories that just pump out crap and let it sit in those little styrofoam containers.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, there's still lots of nice places that do that. So, like, there's definitely room for, like my business could be probably twice as big or 3 times as big as if I had a helper. And
should get into the supplement business.
Yeah, I don't know.
Selling those line mains to some fucking hippie company.
Yeah, I do know I've got some mates that have done that, but they just fuck you over. Like, they just expect it so cheap because the majority, and they're tricky with it. Like, it's just too many. It's the latest frontier of like sort of cowboy sort of get rich quick. So you might want to look into this as well, brother. But they just import the stuff from China, like the dried mushies or the dried powders. Because they're an Australian company, they sell it as an Aussie product, and you're just never going to compete with that price. Like, the prices you get the stuff from over there, like, me to make any money out of it, like, I would never be able to make money like selling it to like a sub person. If I did it myself, you probably could, but then like to do that, like, I don't know, I wouldn't feel comfortable selling it unless I knew like 100% like this is what it does. And like, I don't know, I feel like a few people, they see something, like they just see something on the internet and they go, oh, it does this, that and the other, but they don't know if it does it, and they don't know if their version does it, or maybe the person that gave it to them, like, they've fucked up, they don't test it, they just sell it. And like, I don't know, like, I can't really do that. Like, I'd feel bad about that. But that said, like, it is definitely like something that is like room for growth down the track. Like, if I got bigger, like, you could employ someone to,
you do it solo like at the moment, don't you?
I do. Like, I've had like sidekicks come in, like, where I pay them a couple of hours a week here and there, because it's too much for one person. Dad helps me every once in a while with a few hours, like when I do a big cook, like.
Is it the clean down and like when you're resetting the biggest like the biggest day?
No, probably the lab day and the cook day. So,
when you say that, like, we're not all
not what probably most people think.
We're not
lab day.
We're not not my watches.
Nah, so like lab day, well, like a cook day. So like when you're preparing like the stuff that they grow on, like, so they grow on sawdust, you got to hydrate the sawdust. There's like certain supplements in there. So like if you imagine you put that in a plastic bag,
and you got to heat it to a certain temperature.
Yeah, if you just left it there on the table, so you think like a loaf of bread goes mouldy in a week or so, just being something that's cooked. Imagine something wet, like in a bag, sweating, like it's just like going to get all these competing organisms. So there's going to be bacteria, there's going to be like green mold, all this shit that will just make the process not work. Like the mushrooms can't grow in there, so you got to cook it. So like you either sterilize it, which like sterilizing is like in a pressure cooker, so like a big pressure cooker, like a huge scale mushroom company, like they have these things that are as big as this shed, like they look like a little submarine or a giant silver tampon, or like, that sort of...
Yeah, a torpedo.
Yeah. And so it goes in there and it gets like superheated with like under pressure. So it gets up to 15 PSI. It's like 121 or 123 degrees, I forget. So it sterilises. It's like what they do at hospitals and doctors. If they're instruments, they put it in there and like nuke it, to kill every single fucking thing. So there's nothing living in there. So we do that with the stuff that the mushrooms grow on. So that day that you prepare all those, so like if I'm doing, it's about half a ton of material. So like if you imagine it's like a 2 kilo roughly bag, you're doing, it's 2.5 kilo, 2.4 kilos. So you're doing about half a ton. So it's like 200-ish bags. If you're doing it by yourself, it's like a 6 or 7 hours it takes me. And it's just repetitive. Like if you're doing it all the time, it just sucks the joy out of it. Like it's not fun. it's fun when you're doing like for like a little bit when you start, but like as you get busier, one of the things that you used to love just becomes the thing that you just fucking yeah. So yeah, but if you get someone to help you in, it's only like you give them $25 or whatever minimum is, $30, or if it's dad, nothing. Cheers, dad. Right?
Shout out to dad.
And it takes it down to less than half. It takes it down to like 2.5 hours, and it's like it's just a nothing. It's just like let's fucking have brekkie together, get it done. You're done by 10, and it's like this used to be the thing that was the thing I hated. Like it would fuck me up.
I'll fucking do it.
Yeah,
I'll do it one day for free.
I've had some people do it like they do that. Like chefs come in and do it for free.
I'll do it for free if I can make a YouTube video of it.
Yeah, well, I think we spoke about once having like a
That'd
farm
be sick.
visit. Yeah, farm visit.
Where is the lair?
So I got like rooms, like where I do the cooking side of it and stuff is at my folks' house at Woodville Park, and then the commercial premises at Royal Park, Tapley's Hill Road.
People can't just waltz in and fucking buy a bag of mushrooms. You don't retail out of there?
Not yet. Like I do meet people there. Like we have had markets, but like the main,
markets would be a big thing if you had the energy to do that.
Well, that was the dream, man. Like the dream was to have those events that I was like telling you about, but before that, like was the dream of like, well, it's not, I say dream like it's impossible, like to plan. Like I could have been doing it by now if I was more knew how to do things, or if I maybe had got people to help me earlier. I don't know. But yeah, just to have like a Saturday morning market. So like farmers markets and stuff like that. Like I'm never going to do it. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. to go on the farmers market, rain, hail, shine.
But if you had a young fella who wanted to go do it for you.
Yes, but there's so many rules, man. Like you just can't do what you want to do. Like I want to like be able to play my music. I want to be able to, if I've got something new this week, I want to just be able to throw it there. I don't want to have to ask people, can I do this? Can I do that? Like I looked into doing those markets, and they just, mate, it's like they're like the overlords. Like they just, I'm like, that's not why I started a fucking business, to work for myself, to like ask someone to do every single thing,
Because you do how well if you could but it's just not financially viable because they charge so much. But if you could even have like a stall at Central Markets, that'd be sick.
Well, I looked into that. Nah, there's like the monopoly, like the mushroom man.
There's so much politics. There would be so many politics.
Nightmare, mate, nightmare. So like the mushroom man who's been there since forever. I looked at once, they have like a stall for new, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a little stall off in the corner where you might get it for, I can't even remember if it's a couple of days or 1 day a week for 2 weeks. I can't remember what the split was, but it was aimed at new people, new products. You don't have to be a market person. It's just like supporting local producers, makers, bakers, whatever. I was like, oh, that's pretty dope. Like, I'll do that. That'd be cool. Donuts, can't do it. We've got there's an agreement with the mushroom man. Like you just can't have any competing things there. And I'm like,
some Tony Soprano shit, eh?
It was whack. I got like 20 people there selling carrots.
I'll fucking say it. Fuck the mushroom man. Fuck him.
Yeah.
I'll say it. I'll look at the camera and say, fuck that guy.
I'm not saying shit like that.
But it's fucking, it is, people just, we've talked about it before, it's like that with the podcast as well. There's just crabs in a bucket. No one wants to see you get to the fucking top. And people don't understand that there's enough business for everyone.
Yeah.
Like, there's enough business for everyone to succeed. You just got to not be a fucking prick.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not talking about the mushroom man, by the way. I'm just talking about people in general.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like people do get funny about, especially when it's new things, like doing things in a different way. So like my whole,
you got a pretty cool brand. Like your thing's not really just say like a mushroom fucking grower. You got more of a brand going on.
Yeah, like it's certainly not your traditional. I won't say high end, but like if you look at the product, like it's
pretty high end.
It's a gourmet product.
I'd say it's high end.
I don't like that term, but it's like a product that's like considered like a fairly gourmet, niche sort of thing, but it's certainly not like cookie cutter or not molded in a fashion of anything that anyone else has.
Do you still do the starter pack things?
Yeah, I do the kits. I do the grow kits. Like they're always on my site. Like 30,
so buy them too.
Yeah, buy them. Buy them. Yeah, $30. Can't go wrong.
That it?
Yeah.
How many mushrooms do you get out of that?
So like an oyster mushy like kit which are...
Is it one-time growth, or do you keep reusing?
You can get a couple of flushes, so they call them flushes. So like the first one, so like say an oyster gram, what the fuck was I going to say? Oyster kit. You get like a, roughly the size of a footy. So like it'll be anywhere between 500 grams and 750. I think the biggest ever, someone jagged like a 900 one, but it's like between 500 and 600 is like safe. So it's like, that's, if you look at the little punnets at the shop.
It's cheaper than going to the supermarket and buying
same price.
100 grams for fucking $10.
And they're fucked.
Yeah. And you get to watch them
and
grow.
And you get this experience. Yeah.
And if you got kids and shit, they'll be like, oh, is that how fucking things are grown? And
kids love it. Kids love it. And that's an important thing, like hinting at the kids, like that's part of the thing with the Royal Park. Like it's like a mushy school as well. Like I run courses there, classes to teach people to grow at home.
Well, it's good to because kids these days, it's good to know, for kids to know where the fuck the things they eat come from.
Yeah.
Do you know how many kids I guarantee go to the shops and don't know where the fucking meat comes from? Like, if they knew, they'd be fucking vegetarian.
Yeah.
If they knew.
I think that's slowly happening anyway. Man.
Well,
like,
dude, I put up a video of me going hunting the other day, where I shot a fucking few rabbits.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that were like, "Oh, that's fucked up," and I was like, "Well,
it's weird, isn't it?
You go to the shops and you'll buy a pack of mincemeat, and you'll have 16 different fucking cows in it with missing 2 legs and fucking got syphilis,
and
but you're fine with it.
Dicks and toes and claws and beaks.
But you're fine with that.
Yeah. Well, I grew up so I did high school in Port Augusta, or even before that.
Are you from Port Augusta?
I'm not from. Driving up to your house, I actually felt like I was in Port Augusta West for a little bit. I had to.
Were you raised up there?
I did high school there.
Really?
I'm from down Woodville.
That would have been an experience.
Yeah, it was alright. I went to the private school there, so I was like, I say private school, like it's not like private schools here. It's like
you were one of the.
It's the same.
Fancy Darrows.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk shit about
Woodville used to be pretty rough back in the day as well, though.
Yeah, there's some parts there, like in
my
behind
sister lived in Wood. But do you know what? The best food ever.
Yeah, well, I told you. We need to talk about that, bro.
Nah.
You fuckwit.
No, we can't.
Talking shit about the goat fucking banh mi place.
Do you know what, though? There was this. What was the one?
I don't even really want to hear it.
There's so many on Hanson Road, and it's just like, fuck, TD
is the
they
OG.
might have had an off day. They kind of yelled at me. I got the full Vietnamese experience, I'm sure.
That's what you pay for, bro. But, I don't know, you can go outside, look over that vacant lot where there's like about 1 billion seagulls and pigeons, and then like you can see like the smouldering car wrecks burning in the distance.
That's the only thing about the South that to me, the South, like, it lacks a lot is the food.
Yeah.
Like we've got good food down here, but we don't have.
It's more wineries.
It's just white. It's a white dominated place.
Yeah.
It's not as multicultural as say like Arndale or Prospect and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it's pretty dope down here, though.
It's amazing down here, but if you're feeling some flavour, like you want to go to a place and
it's definitely more like Australiana.
Yeah,
vibes.
it's Australian fucking dream down here. It's just beaches and blonde people. There's crackheads.
Yeah. That's the good thing about Adelaide, though. You get to the other side of town in no time at all. Like, I lived in Sydney for 3 years, or if you're in Melbourne, like
you lived in Sydney.
Yeah.
Whereabouts?
Bellevue.
I lived in
Bellevue
Sydney.
Heights.
Oh, nice.
Fucking
nice. I lived in the Blue Mountains.
$700 for a single bedroom. Yeah. Beautiful.
I lived in the Blue Mountains for a year and a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you doing there? Lumberjack?
Yeah, I was lumberjacking.
Jacking?
No, I lived at a resort. I was chefing at a resort that Emirates owned inside the Blue Mountains.
Is that one and only or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
I was just...
It was called Walgan Valley, but they
I know that,
they changed over to one and only resort or something.
Yeah, they're like...
It was fucking bougie. But
proper.
I think it was like 40 minutes from us, there was that town where the dad just like inbred all of his family, and he like inbred his whole family, and they were just living in trailers for like 50 years. He finally got pinged, but yeah, they all had like 9 toes and 16 fingers and shit.
I don't know about that.
That's why I went there. Yeah. I thought I got a job there.
I want in.
I thought I got a job there, and then I rocked up and fucking my first shift. The owner of like Dolce Gabbana borrowed my charger, and I was like, I don't fit in here, eh?
Yeah, it is like it's.
Sydney. I'll say it publicly. I do not like Sydney. I like the food culture. I love the city's nice for a week.
Yeah.
The suburbs and stuff is too much of a rat race for me.
It's definitely
for me.
It's definitely more hectic. Like Adelaide is like.
I find the people to be way
chill.
more fucking abrasive as well over there. They're just on.
It's
They
just
just got
different,
shit
man.
to do.
It's a beautiful city. Like you can like drive around and catch the ferry and like all that stuff.
It's
is
insane.
beautiful. But yeah, like if you're in amongst it. See, like when I was there.
The traffic.
I was
alone.
sort of living beyond my means, like, because I'd just come back from Indonesia and like I'd broken up with someone, so like I'd had
Were
a
you
settlement.
living in Indonesia?
Yeah, I lived in Jakarta for like 3.5 years.
You've had a life.
I'm old, bro. So yeah, like I had like all this money, like from just like I say all this money, not heaps, like with just one house sold and split. So I was there, like just. Not in the best state of mind, just like spend, party, going to
That's
every
the place
festival.
to fucking do it.
Oh, mate. Like, it was great. Like, if you could do that, like, as if that was your, well, I don't know, like, is that the way you want to live? But at that time, the way I was, like, I just was blowing off steam and it was hectic. Like, it was
the best years of my life was when I was the biggest mess.
yeah, but you say that now. But you look back when you're old like me, like maybe say like I didn't think I was going to have another kid and meet someone else. Like now, I'll look back at that and I say, all right, that was sick, but like fucking hell, you were fucked up. Like you were not like.
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. The best years of my life are now because I've got like a beautiful fiance and I'm like way more stable.
Yeah. So reel that one back in.
No, but like the times I had when I was
I know what you mean.
18 to 22, I would never change them. Even though I don't. Do you know what? I got a massive memory blank from like 18 to 23. I couldn't even pinpoint you a night until something brings up the memory.
Yeah.
Because I was just a loose unit.
Yeah.
But so you lived in Jakarta, then you moved to Sydney, then you moved back to Adelaide.
Yeah.
What was living in Jakarta like as a white boy?
Oh, I loved it, mate. I was like Ronaldo, like honestly, like because I was fit as then, like super fit, and I used to go running. Like, I had like crazy, like I had like a mohawk, like a little weird coloured mohawk thing, and
It'd been like white Godzilla,
bro. Like I used to get them always coming up to me, like saying, "Oh, take a photo," like. And you're living like like my partner back then worked at the embassy, so because then this was 2012.
She was obviously Javanese, was it?
No, Aussie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we're here. So yeah, she worked in like Department of Foreign Affairs or whatever it is. So she worked at the embassy. So like back then, that was like at a time when there'd been bombings there recently. So like as in like hotel bombings and like targeting.
When shit was going wild.
Yeah, so like the way they treated it, like is like you hear about danger money, like going to crazy places, or if you work in a mine or whatnot. So like that was at the time we were there. The system that they used, we were on the same level as Afghanistan. So like the money was fucking stupid, like But like as an office job, like for her, it was an office job. Yes, there's dangers and like.
But the risk wasn't.
The embassy had been blown up. Like the Australian embassy in Jakarta got blown up, like a year or two before, like by can't remember if it was a van or like a scooter dude, like just pulled up and fucking doosh. So like, and after I left, like the places where we used to have breakfast and stuff got blown up a year later. So like it is a danger. Like you sort of think about it and you're like. I don't know, that's the way I think about it.
Did you travel a lot of it? Did you kind of just stay in Jakarta or did you travel a bit?
No, we went. The flights are that cheap, bro. Like, you could fly Air Asia, like, to Singapore for $40. Oh. Like, I flew to Singapore to have dinner one night. Like, it was like $20 to the airport, $40 flight, return. The dinner was expensive because Singapore is super expensive, but like, I'm not saying that was an everyday thing, but like, yeah, we can travel. You would travel all the time. Like I used to coach footy there, so like I coached it was called the Jakarta Bintangs. So it's like the Aussie.
What do you mean footy? They have an Aussie rules footy team in fucking Jakarta.
Yeah, so there was an Aussie rules like the expat side of it. Which
They
is
would have thought you were Buddy Franklin over there.
Yeah, no, there's like
There were some good players.
There was a couple of dudes that were like, not. Did we have any ex-AFL? I don't think so. Barley gets a few AFL because like Barley's got so much, like all the trendy dudes there. Like they've had like heaps of. Well, their coach is Rick Olorenshaw, who used to play for Essendon Bombers. I'm pretty sure was he in the premiership team? I don't know.
No shit.
Yeah, but it's not like the competition is like an expat competition. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
Like, most of the game it's just like, say your 3 or 4 best players are probably guns. And then the next few are just like fit dudes that have never played footy.
Yeah.
And then the last half are just fucking out there
The
wandering
food
around.
would have been just so cheap and delicious.
Yeah.
And just...
I used to eat the street food a fair bit. Like they used to tell you like with the embassy, they would say don't do it because of like hep, whatever, and all the bugs that you can get. But there was like gutto, you know gutto. You know what gutto, like the gorangs and stuff like that. And it's like 50 cents. Like when I was learning Indonesian in Yogyakarta, like I did.
Can you speak pretty well?
Sedikit saja.
You can speak well.
Masih bisa tapi lupa banyak.
Fucking same.
Nah, just like I can remember some parts, but I'm not like fluent.
But you can, if like you can get through.
I'm a valuable person to have on a Balinese holiday. Put it that way.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'm not like it's just the superficial day-to-day stuff. But like if I was like in a business meeting and they were like getting into the nitty-gritty, I'll get lost pretty quick.
Have you ever been to Japan?
Nah. That was the last place. Like, I went to South Korea.
You did?
Like, all those other places. But yeah, Japan was on the next on the hit list, and then it just...
We've been looking at South Korea as well because
It's fucking good, man.
apparently it's very similar to Japan.
It looks similar
Very
from what I see.
different cultures, obviously, different things, but apparently it's got very massive similarities.
Yeah.
Very clean, very...
Yeah.
But I think South Korea is a bit more westernized.
Oh,
Or they're a bit less...
I don't know about that.
Are they a bit... Because Japanese people are very shy people.
No, I think
They're
the
pretty
same,
shy as well.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I mean, I only spent a week there, but I'd say... Yeah, like it wasn't... I wouldn't call it westernised in any way, the areas I went to. Like,
I want to do fucking North Korea. I want to go.
I know a dude. The dude who used to play footy with, he went there. He went to North Korea.
You have to go on a full tour. They like
Yeah.
you're the only person in this like 60,000 people stadium, and it's just a show, and it's just you in there.
Isn't there like cutouts of like... Is there a movie or something? It's like you're driving down like... They only drive you down the same road
the
all the time.
interview
Like,
with
they don't take you out to like all the random roads.
Well, Vice did a documentary where they went to North Korea,
Yeah.
and it's just a guided tour. You're not allowed to go anywhere else.
Yeah, so it's like on the set course.
It's a set course.
You're not seeing behind the scenes.
Like there's this massive restaurant you go to with like it could seat 1,000 people, and you're the only person there because obviously they don't get fucking return guests.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, and thanks for the he brought me my favourite drink,
Yeah, I know.
Cruiser.
I see you like the coloured stuff.
I do like the
For
coloured
the,
stuff.
the ladies amongst the viewership. Is it Aussie's twisties?
Yeah, there's twist tops.
Oh. My hands are too sweaty, too nervous, mate. You got me sweating. I feel like I'm in a job interview or at court or something.
Oh, don't worry. This is a no judge. This is a judge-free zone. There's been some bad dudes that sat in that chair. Cheers, man.
Cheers, brother.
Now I know you wanted to see it.
The famous Vortex.
I don't do Vortex.
You've just got a power.
I just got a colour.
You've got a power.
I've got a power
throat.
bottom. Yeah,
I was
power.
going to say power bottom, yeah. Popular. Like a... Yeah, just like Bob Hawke.
Oh, I reckon I'd fuck Bob Hawke up.
Nah, he'd have you. He'd smash you.
I would have loved to have
The
done
yard
that.
glass, he'd fucking have you in a... The amount of time it took you to drink those schooners, Bob did a yard.
I would have loved to have gotten Bob Hawke on the podcast. He's dead now, isn't he?
I think so.
Who's your favourite Prime Minister?
Have you been watching that shit? Any of that stuff?
I don't even know who our Prime Minister is now.
Hey?
I couldn't tell you. I didn't fucking know.
Albo.
It ain't easy, Albanese.
Yeah.
It is easy or it's not.
Albo. I probably would have forgotten otherwise. I was just looking at Instagram. I saw Scotty Marsh, the dude that does all the murals and stuff. He did like an Albo thing with a Uncle Sam puppet up his ass. And it's like Uncle Sam's puppet.
You should get Hyphen and Chase to do your wall next.
I don't know who that is.
I've had Hyphens on the podcast. He tags Hyphen and Ozark.
Oh yeah. I watched that one. Yeah.
And he has a channel called Destruct TV with his mate Chase.
I follow it.
You should get him to do a fucking video there.
Yeah, well,
they're
it's
good.
Like, the initially the wall, like it's like a 17-meter wall, you know, like.
It's massive.
Well, you don't need a ladder, so it must be 2.4 meters. I don't know.
But long.
Yeah, and the idea was always like after it first happened was that it was going to get redone every 3 months, like we were going to have an event there, but like I said, like shit gets in the way and it never really happened. But I mean, for that little stretch there, pretty much anyone can. I won't say anyone, but I don't know. I've already said it. But
You a tagger, mate?
Hey,
You a tagger?
nah, I'm not. I don't have a background in any of the like stuff.
Any of the degenerate behaviours?
Nah, I'm not like. Nah, I haven't had a background in that or rapping or any of that shit. I just more of a fan or I wouldn't even say a fan.
Because you're like a fucking
appreciator.
encyclopedia of Australian hip hop.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'll definitely make the effort to try and know.
Do you fuck with American rap as hard as you do Australian rap? Because you go balls deep into it.
I don't know. You've sort of gone in phases, like so. Different times in my life, like I've been into different things. Like my first ever CD when I was I don't know, like 10 or 11 or I don't know, little was Run DMC. Like got it from some pawn shop where like mum and dad were talking to the dude there, and they got 3 CDs. And it was like 2 CDs, Nirvana, Nevermind, and it was Run DMC. I know there's a song on there called Tougher Than Leather. I don't know if that was the name of the album or what, but like. From then, like I just sort of I was like, you know, this is different. This is sick. Like, you know, what is this? Because I'd never heard anything like it. Never knew anyone. Like, only little. Like, you don't have your own CD player yet. There was no internet and shit back then where you like just, you know, like kids now can just find all sorts. So yeah, like sort of from there, like in terms of my music, I think like we went overseas. We were in Las Vegas like a couple of weeks before Tupac got shot there, and I'd like just bought.
You were?
Yeah. So like mum and dad and we went because I'm my only kid, so like we went on like went to LA, San Francisco, Las Vegas, and then like New York. And yeah, like we were there. I didn't even know who he was. Like I'm not saying like I was there, like I'm part of it. I'm just saying like we were there doing like the tourist thing, and I'd only just I think a week before that bought. While I was in LA, All Eyes on Me, which is like probably I don't know maybe his breakout album, but it's not his first one.
That was the one.
Yeah, that was like the double CD release, like just I don't know, pretty iconic, like you know, pretty. But like buying that, I didn't know, I'd never seen it, I'd never heard of it, didn't know who it was. I think as a little fucking white kid from Australia, you just see certain things and you're like, oh, that looks like
the cover art.
Yeah, like it's like him. Like the cover is him all tatted up
because
in that like weird leather sort of biker overalls thing. I don't even know how to describe it, but I was like, I didn't look at it and relate to it. I didn't like anything. I just was like, just looked at it and I was like, cool, like that's cool, and bought it, you know. And then from that, like I just listened to that like. Every day for fucking years, man. Like every day, like just I don't listen to it any time now, like hardly ever, because I always like trying to keep up with new stuff. But like if that goes on, like it's weird how your memory works, bro. Like those songs on there, and I can like
memorize every
I can't
single
rap
word.
It, but like you can sort of like, you know, like yeah, you know what's coming, you know the words, you know. Like Can't See Me and like just like all those songs, bro. Like it's that was like what I sort of grew up on, got me sort of hooked on it. And then there was like Doggy Style, Wu-Tang, like that sort of shit is sort of what got me hooked. And then never really heard about aussierap like back then. Like I was not because like I didn't have friends that like listened to it. I didn't have like other people, so it wasn't like check this out. So like I just like listened to what I. Sort of like almost brainwashed myself into like just listen to American shit.
Yeah.
And then by the time I first heard Australian stuff, I was one of these dumb cunts that was like, oh, rap with an Australian accent. Like I couldn't deal with it. And it's like now when I hear people say that, I think, mate, you're fucking Australian. Can you like just like that?
Do you know what
the
though?
dumbest shit ever.
It's the same. It was the same as me when I was younger. I used to really like the funk cores, and I used to like hilltops and stuff. But I never. The only thing that stopped me from really getting really into Aussie hip hop when I was younger was the accent.
Yeah,
because
but it's weird. But isn't that sad? I think that's sad.
Weird.
I look at that now. If I hear like a young person say that.
Now that I'm older, it's
fucking sad, man.
I have no issue with it, but it's the same as when you watch an Australian TV show or movie, and you hear us, you're like, "Fuck, we sound like drongos."
I love that shit though.
Yeah, but now, like, have you seen Boy Swallows Universe?
Nah, I've heard about it.
It's probably one of the fucking best TV shows I've seen in years.
Yeah,
and it's just like it's good because of the Australian accent. It's more relatable because it's not that fucking American accent.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what dragged
But
me
when we grow up, we watch TV,
yeah,
and you're flooded with American culture. You're used to that in your brain.
And I think that's fucked. Like, I think that's sad. Like, I don't know. I definitely don't listen to anywhere near as much like American shit now. But at the same time, like I still love like the old school American stuff. So like, you know, Big L and like Nas and like, I don't know.
I feel like
Eric B. Like,
I feel like American rap peaked in the 90s and early 2000s. I just think it's not the same. It never will be the same as it was.
Well, I think it's just like similar to here, man. Like you don't hear about the dudes that are doing the good work. You don't hear about it. It's just a machine over there.
You got to be in the scene to really locate the good shit.
Yeah. Well, like what do we get fed here? Like if you're not like a proper fan, like who's going to search, like actively look for new stuff, what do you get fed? Like the shit that you get fed is these fucking half a dozen chicks that just always got their ass out talking about sucking dick and like their cars and their jewels, like.
And you got dudes
I'm not listening to that.
And you got dudes that can't rap.
Yeah, and other dudes that are mumbling and talking about their watch, their car, they're going to shoot, they're going to start. Like, I don't relate to that, bro. Like, when I was little, like, maybe I listened to it because I thought, oh, geez, that's like, you know, rebellious. I don't want to hear that shit anymore, bro.
Yeah.
Like, from anyone. Like, I listen to stuff now. Like, I think hip-hop, like hip hop is supposed to be, like, I'm about the lyrics, bro. Like, it's got to be obviously a good beat and, like, all that shit, but I don't know. I only listen to stuff that I can sort of relate to now. So I listen to heaps of UK hip hop. Like there's a lot of UK hip hop to me. Is like
UK grime. Grime has been fucking dope for years.
Yeah, I like that. That's probably my gateway into it. So like I started listening to Skepta, JME. I like JME.
Stormzy's on tour in Australia at the moment.
Yeah.
Big Nasty's a fucking weapon. Big Nasty. If whoever hasn't listened to Big Nasty, he has this song called "Don't Hold Yourself Like That." And it's about him ordering a prostitute. Yeah. It's fucking one of the best film clips you'll ever see in your life. Yeah. And just these people, you would never hear about them. And they're so good. Like Stormzy's old stuff's amazing. Yeah.
He's pretty big though, man. He's not underground by any means. He's big.
I'd say he's the biggest.
Dizzy Rascal. Like I reckon Dizzy Rascal's dope. Like he was like a sort of like a little. When he
dabbled in the EDM a bit. He dabbled in a bit of everything.
I remember the first songs that sort of were commercial here. Like they were almost like.
Do you want to? Sorry, I won't cut you off. Do you want a beer?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You can continue on that.
Yeah, they were always like. I don't know. It was almost like novelty. Like I can't remember his first songs. What were they? Oh no, some of the later ones like Bassline Junkie and shit like that. Like. I found them as humorous as I found them like talented. Like it wasn't always about the.
He was probably the first grime artist, to my knowledge, that he branched off into the club scene, which was huge.
Fix Up Look Sharp, like that's a rad song. I can't remember the album. I wish I had my phone on me. One of his most recent ones, and he's got some features with Ocean Wisdom and like some other stuff. And I was like, fuck, you know what? He is good. Like he's like super talented. I like him, but. I mostly listen to like shit that I can relate to now. So I listen to a lot of like high focus stuff. So like 4 Hours, Flip Tricks, like Leaf Dog, like people who are, like I said, can relate to like.
And before we forget, shout outs to BTRG for their newest release, Growth.
Yeah, that's wild.
They are the Mad Dogs of South Australia. They have some absolute fucking bangers on that, and I'm proud to maybe officially call them good friends. They are absolute legends.
That was a good episode.
That was a good episode. We left a lot on the table. We're going to run it back. We left a lot on the table because they're
breaking them in, mate. They've been out of the spotlight for a while.
They're from up north. They don't come down this way, mate. No. They don't come.
Well, I was lucky enough to. I met them. I don't know when you filmed that thing, but not maybe.
It would have been literally.
After,
it would have been like after. a day, 2 days.
Yeah, right.
Because we did that podcast, and then maybe a week actually, and then Rems was filming something, I think, with you guys. Yeah, in the car park, was it?
Like he was doing his own thing, and I offered up our space. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I won't say where, but like he did some of the filming at our joint. Yeah. So yeah, it was cool to meet him, man. I didn't know him from Bar of Soap. It's just like social media is fucking weird like that. So I just
full circle
got messaging like because I saw they were with you and
dude, it's
just sort of clicked, you know.
The coolest thing about this podcast is I feel like I've got my own little we got our own little community now. Like my podcast is still pretty small, but I honestly think it's the biggest podcast in Adelaide now.
I was saying to you the other night because I don't like. Well, I don't know what the other ones are.
I follow every single fucking podcast in South Australia. I follow every podcast in Perth, in Melbourne, and Sydney, and I can tell you now, there's not a single podcast in Adelaide that does the numbers I do, unless they use their contacts to get freakish guests.
Yeah,
and you can tell when a podcast got a guest on from a favour because it's not a genuine conversation, it's a fucking interview. And I think that's shit.
Yeah. Well, that's not what a podcast should be.
It's
like.
not.
I feel like podcasts.
If you're going to do an interview, go on 60 minutes. Yeah. What the fuck are you doing an interview on a podcast? It's supposed to be like
a reasonably organic.
You want to see who the person is. That's why you can't run a podcast.
And not too guarded, not too, can't talk about that.
Do you know how many podcasts I've lost because there's been audio errors or visual errors? You can't run them back because it's a one-time thing. Like if I do a podcast with someone and something stuffs up, it's over. We can't have that interaction again. We can do another one, but it's not going to be the same.
Be weird, it's not the same. Like if I tell you the same shit that you hadn't heard before, where you're going to like fake be surprised.
Well, dude, I keep looking over here. If everyone notices on my podcast, I always keep looking because I'm always looking for that blue thing that says recording. Because do you know how many podcasts I've done where I forgot to press that button?
Yeah.
In the first couple especially, because I had to get a bit drunk before them because I was so nervous.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No.
Now, I had something to ask you, but I fucking forgot what it was. It was this. While we're on the topic of rap, you have... Everyone has that... One sec, fix that up. Everyone has that one song where they're like, holy shit. Do you have that song that when you're introducing someone to it, like, do you have that song that when you ask someone if they've heard it and they say no, you're like, I want to watch you react to it? That holy shit.
Not like one song. Like I'm more of like I'm like a facilitator. So like I hear new shit and I know people that sort of partially like part-time listeners. So I'm like a feeder. So like when I hear new shit that I love, like so like with the new BTRG thing, or whether it's like a Goobsy thing, or whether it's High
Shout out
Focus.
to fucking Goobsy.
Yeah, I've been listening to that. Is it Brunch or whatever that one is with Kirby?
Yeah,
that's fucking sick. I don't know why I hadn't listened to it. Like, 'cause I saw it on my feed and stuff, but I never really listened to it. I think I was at the time I was listening to like heaps of Flip Tricks new albums. So like a UK. Do you know who Flip Tricks is or no?
No.
So he's one of the 4 hours like with High Focus, like runs High Focus, and he's like probably my age, got a son my age. He's like moved away from the hustle bustle of London. He's like living in the fucking hills somewhere in Portugal or something. And he's like, it's very reflective. It's very positive. It's very what's called mantra number 9. So it's like very I don't know if the word is esoteric or like, but it's like enlightening, uplifting, like sort of like positive vibes thing. And I think around that time that came out, he was like, Gucci was like the thing I saw on the Instagram was like, rah, like you know, like gutter stuff, like which I fucking love. But I was like, at the time, I was like, I'm gonna listen to that shit. Like, you know, it'll come across my path later. So I just brushed it. But then the other night, like when we were like messaging, he came up. I think it was when I was messaging people about the Strut show. So I messaged him. I was like, "Fuck, he'll love it. He'll be all over it." Like, and then I was like, "Oh, you know, I should listen to that." And then when I listened to it, I was like, "Oh, why haven't I listened to this before?" I haven't listened to his old shit, but like that brunch one with Curb.
So
like,
one of the biggest reasons Goobsy started rapping was because of Peeps and Rems.
Yeah, right. I heard on that episode that's
and you can
they
hear
came
it,
back.
but you can so yeah, but you can also
he was pestering him or something.
Yeah, but so Goobsy, like his introduction to wanting to be a rapper was because he loved Peeps and Rems. But if you listen to Goobsy, you can hear that he mimics, but his flow,
I know what you mean.
His flow and style was very reminiscent of Peeps.
What's the vocal,
yelling,
like the tone is like the
aggressiveness,
expression. Yeah. I can see that.
So you don't have
influence.
that. You don't have that. I got that. My holy shit song will always be "Dance with the Devil" with fucking dance with the devil with fucking.
No, it's dance, bro. You're in South Australia.
Immortal Technique.
Dance.
Dance.
South Australia, Queen's English, brother.
It's dance.
Fucking go to Queensland if you want to call it dance.
It's not dance. Dance.
Dance.
Chance.
Chance.
Dance with the devil.
Enhance.
That's just a holy shit song to me.
Who? Where? Which one?
Dance with the devil.
Just fucking. Why are you faking it, bro? Just be yourself, mate.
Because it doesn't say it's hard.
Just
it
be
doesn't
yourself.
sound as hard. Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique.
That's funny. I honestly can't even picture it. Play it. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah. Who? Immortal Technique.
Immortal Technique?
No.
You've never fucking...
I know who they are, but I just can't. I got a blank.
I once knew it. His name was William. His primary concern was making $1 million.
I can't.
Really?
Yeah.
We got some shit to listen to after the podcast. I don't
Can
know
you put
about
the start on now and it'll refresh my memory or not?
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
My memory is really bad now. Like I just.
Surely. 1 second.
Yeah, I probably just made a fool and stuff. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a niche. It's niche as a quiche.
Yeah, but I like all this stuff. Like I like to go find out. Why do I not know this?
You don't know this. This is the fucking hardest song you'll ever listen to. No, just lyrics wise, if you sit, it's a story. It's a story.
I once knew a nigga whose real name was William. His primary concern was making $1 million, being the illest hustler.
I have heard it.
He used to fuck movie
I remember
stars
that,
and
making
sniff
$1
coke in his
million.
dreams.
Yeah.
A corrupted young mind at the age of
I'm gonna have to
13.
re-listen to it. I must have heard it a long time ago.
Oh,
I remember that. I remember William making $1 million. I remember
a song to me that takes you through like an emotional loop.
The journey, man. Like, it's
like a story. And
yeah.
I miss when songs were fucking 7 minutes long.
Bro, that's
I
good.
miss that.
That's part of the thing. Like when I look at, like I try not to judge things, like because like you try and keep an open mind because it's art and it's like, you know, but sometimes like you see like a new release and it's like, this is more of an American thing, like I think, but 7 releases and they're like all fucking 1.5 minutes, and I'm like, you know, I'm not even going to listen to it.
There's no fucking point because it's
30-second
it's just
intro,
going to be a hook,
30-second
and
outro,
that's it.
and some cunt going. Brr, brr,
Yeah, there's no point. It's made, but it's different because it's made for a different audience.
Yeah.
It's made for it's made for the youth.
There are. I will say, I should like qualify that. There is some dope shit that I've seen locally, like from some local dudes.
Oh no, you take
Young
everything
lads.
take everything with a grain of salt.
And 2 minute-ish. Like it doesn't have to be like a saga, but just like I'm just interested in content. Like I'm old, man. I don't want to hear cunts brag.
Dude,
about
there's
watches. I just want to hear a story. I want to hear like how they've overcome shit from their past. I don't know, like stuff that means something.
Like,
you know?
were you invested into the when the game left G Unit? Were you invested in all that drama?
Not hugely. Like, I was listening to 50 Cent at the time, but I wasn't like...
So when the game left G Unit,
Yeah.
he made a song called 300 Bars.
Mm.
And 300 Bars was fucking like 13 or 18 minutes
That's a
long.
lot of bars, bro.
It was like 18 minutes long.
Yeah.
And there was not a repeated sentence in that fucking thing.
Yeah.
It was just 300 bars of him slating every single member in G Unit.
Yeah.
That is, it's so good.
Yeah.
But like that's an 18-minute or whatever it was. I'm pretty sure it was 18-minute song or 15. Unheard of now.
Well, I mean, that's just not the reality we live in. Like, people are short, like you said, short fucking... Like, even when Tool, you know, do you listen to, like, heavier
I
stuff?
love
like,
heavy metal.
So, I mean, I think proper heavy metal fans laugh
I'm more of a
Tool
metal-
being included in that. Like, what do you consider Tool?
I don't know. See,
They're not soft, but they're not heavy, proper heavy metal.
Metal people are weird because there's so many subcategories.
Yeah.
I would class them as heavy metal.
Me, as like an outsider, like as a casual, they're heavy. They're in the heavy environment. Anyway, like they hadn't had a release in like how long since their last one? Was it like?
I wouldn't say Tool. Fucking maybe
More than 10? Was it 10 or 20
I'd say
years?
15.
I feel like it's almost 20 or 15.
I would say minimum 15.
Yeah, and then that Fear Inoculum come out, and it was fucking as Tool as you can get. Like, it was like, I listened to it all, and I love it. Like, I love it, but it's like, unless you're unless you either care about, when I say care, like, you're invested in the artist. Like, so to me, like, if I've followed an artist like full on and listened to him like for a while, sometimes it's not just because the music is cool. Like, I kind of like the message, or like the story they're going through, or I like seeing what they're going through, or they've overcome shit, or they might think like whack shit is fucking dumb. So like, I like that side of them. Like, there's some sort of, you take on like a liking for the personality, or like their approach to things. So like Tool is like super, I would say they're like opposite to the norm. Like, they're not concerned with what the other bands are doing. They're not concerned even necessarily with what the listeners are doing or the pundits are doing. Like, they're just going to do their own shit, like march to the beat of their own drum. They don't give a fuck. Like, that's the impression I get. So like, based on that, like, if I've been listening to that for all that time, like, I used to love Stinkfist and 56 and 2 and like all those like classic sort of Tool songs. When the new shit comes out, and I'm like, the first listen, a lot of it, I was like, fuck's happened? Like, what's happened? Like, what's going on here? But then you sort of step back and you're like, all right.
They don't want to do the
listen.
same shit.
No, but you have another listen. Like, are you a fan or are you not? So you have another listen, and then like, sometimes you listen to things a few times and you're like, this is actually wild. Like, this is actually good. Like, doesn't mean it's all in all your playlists, but like, you sort of, you see the progression, or you see where they're coming from, or you see why some things are changed, and you either get behind it or you're not. Like, I don't know, like, people grow up, people change, people as listeners and as artists. So you gotta.
That's like, I had this guest on. I won't say any names now because the band's
I can't watch you fucking smoke in front of me anymore.
That's alright, mate. I won't say the band name, but I had a guest on, and he was very deep into the metal scene, and there's this massive band, and they were going on tour, and a lot
What the fuck is going on?
You lit the wrong end because they're both white.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
So
that's yeah. You'd prefer that didn't happen on camera.
What's happening? So that's the one. That's the one. You just have a normal lighter.
Yeah, can't be trusted with the other one. That's funny.
So I had this guest on, and he was talking about we were talking off camera about a band, and they're a big band, and we were talking about their newer music is very different to their older music, and like, you can either love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
But this like band, the singer doesn't really want to sing the older music anymore because they don't fuck with it as much as they used to because they've been playing it for so long.
And as well, like,
it's
so
like
when they write it, they're going through something. It's like their life. They're writing about shit that's now. So like, as a person that's not an artist, I'd imagine if you're singing about shit that's like where you're at now, you can sing about it with gusto.
But do you think
you fucking put your whole heart into it?
Do you think Eminem wants to go on stage and sing Stan?
Yeah, no, exactly.
He doesn't. He's fucking almost 50 years
conversation
old.
with someone today, like, but I think even more so, like if it's something that you're singing about in a certain part of your life,
it means something.
Yeah, but imagine about having to do that, like replicate that feeling or like that enthusiasm.
It's a wave.
When you're not feeling that anymore.
It's a wave. Like it's
like it's almost you're having to fake it.
Yeah, and
you have to fake it.
And you're not giving your best.
But,
and you're not giving your best. But if you don't like to do something, you're not giving your best performance to the fans.
That's like, yeah. I don't know. Like, and I kind of cringe when like some like hardcore fans, like when a new release comes out and they don't vibe with it straight away, they talk shit about the fucking.
So
artist.
just don't talk shit about it. Just move on.
I don't know. But it is tricky. Like you do get like I used to love Korn. Like when I was younger, like I was like
Korn was a fucking shit.
Yeah, I used to listen to it hard. Like,
Twisted Transistor, fucking.
Hard. Nah, before that, I was like Life is Peachy. I got lost off them like not long after that. I was like in the real dark sort of, the first 2-3 albums. Didn't listen to them again. I'm same with like Hilltops, man. Like I said, I like listened to heaps of American shit like Tupac and fucking Wu-Tang and like whatnot, like all that stuff. And, like the thing that lured me back into Australia was like when Hilltops blew up. Like I don't even know if I knew about them. I went to a gig. This is a blast from the past. So I went to a gig at Heaven. So when you remember, how old are you?
Heaven on West Terrace.
West
So
Terrace.
no, I turned 18 when Heaven became HQ.
How old are you?
30. I turned 18 when Heaven became HQ. I just missed Heaven because there was a drive-by shooting and they closed down like briefly after that.
Mm. Well, I was like a Heaven rat. Like Wednesday nights at Heaven.
I used to go to Flashies on every Wednesday on HQ.
Bro, Wednesdays at Heaven on West Terrace. Time Warp it was called.
Time Warp. I remember because my brother and sister, my sister's older, but my brother's your age. So he used to go to Heaven a lot.
Mm.
And Wednesdays was Time Warp and Saturdays was main night.
Yeah.
And then there used to be New York Bar and Grill. What was it called?
Thursday
nights. And then there was Waves. Waves was a big club back then. I'm not sure where it was. It was on Hindley Street, I believe.
I don't know about that. I've never heard of that. I don't know.
Wednesdays was Flashies when I was growing up at HQ.
Yeah.
And Saturdays was the big one. And then every Sunday was the Grand.
Sunday with the Grand, yeah. Yep.
Sunday was the Grand. Thursdays was Marble or Apple Bar. Friday was always the Vic. The dirtiest of the Vic. It's my.
I had a few Vic experiences when I played for the Shoes.
I went every Friday for fucking 6 years.
Badlands.
I love that place.
Badlands.
Oh mate, that's when you figure out who your mates are at the Vic. 2 a.m. at the Vic, and everyone's walking outside. No one has a problem with each other, but someone's going to start a fire.
That's like.
They're closing Red Square. I never got let in because I was a wog. They never let me in because I had a fucking mohawk and a beard. But then,
I don't give a fuck about that. But fuck that place. But Time Warp at Heaven. Mate, it was crazy. But going back to what we were talking about, so I went to a gig there. It was Cypress Hill
on a Wednesday.
No. I don't know what night it was, but it was a Cypress Hill gig. It was in that era, so it was either 99. I don't know when the calling came out.
This would have been when Cypress Hill was...
This was, the Cypress Hill was huge, but Hilltops were... I feel like it was around the time the calling came out. So I don't know if that was 2002, 2003.
That'd probably be 2002.
It's very early 2000s, and they supported Cypress Hill. I honestly say now it's probably one of the best events, the best gigs I've been to. It was fucking nuts, bro. The whole place was Dutched up, and it was just wild. Like Hilltops just went nuts. Like and the crowd, like I think I'd only just heard maybe 1 or 2 songs of them. I think maybe Nosebleed Section had come out, which like everyone was onto it. Like that was like commercial and sort of got all the work.
Nosebleed Section was probably their breakout song.
Yeah,
I'd say
it was around that time. And that show, bro, that was like... I'd never seen it. And I hadn't really been to a hip-hop show either. And I just remember seeing them and I think, fuck, these boys are good. Like, that is good. And then so like, I just got sucked into listening to them for ages. I had that album on repeat for years.
They are and forever will be the biggest Australian rap group, would you say?
What are
for
we talking,
mainstream,
like commercial?
for commercial Australian hip-hop. Besides maybe Bliss and SO.
Certainly as a group, yeah.
Bliss and SO kind of got up there.
In like Europe and like they sell shit out in Europe and like yeah.
I feel like the only person who's kind of imitated what they can do, but on a less commercial scale, I'd say would be Cursor. His fan base are fucking menaces.
That's a different story, bro. That's he's undefeated like in the local underground, like just the organic and the fuck you to the industry and the.
Did you see they faked him? They faked him.
Bro.
They just. I think
that is rank. That's so bad.
I don't know.
Fucking signed up on that.
I don't know if it's true or not, but
it was screenshots, bro. It was there. That's bad.
What a slap in the face. He should have asked for some fucking money from that.
Not a slap in the face. Like, that's like supreme whackness. Like that. Like, what nerd fucking thought that was a good idea and thought that would fly under the radar?
Just get a white guy in a ski mask.
Bro, that was the dumbest shit I've ever seen or heard of. Like, that is fucking stupid.
What was it? The BETs or whatever the fuck it is. What's the Australian one? No one gives a ABAs.
It was the Arias, bro. The Arias.
Who gives a fuck about the Arias?
But like, I don't know. Yeah, that is the dumbest shit. Like, that is embarrassing.
Just
and
after
like
his
that is
final
enough
tour.
that should be enough to make everyone like just ignore them forever.
Yeah.
Like, that is fucking dumb. But yeah, Hilltops, I guess they're like the biggest commercially, I suppose. But like, I don't know. I sort of got lost on them. Like The Calling, maybe one album after that. Probably like one of my top 5 actually, now that I say that, top 5 gigs I've ever been to was in Sydney when they were doing their tour with the orchestra. I don't know if it was, what was the album? It's not The Calling, it was like Long Hard Road, I don't remember, whatever their first one they did with the orchestra. That was amazing. That was amazing. They had the support was some Irish dude, and I forget his name. Like, he was like someone I'd never heard of. He was amazing. And the whole fucking show, like just the mix. And it's sort of like what I do, like with trying to bring worlds together, like bringing, like, who does orchestra with hip-hop, you know? Like, it's just things you don't expect to come together.
Collision Courses, by the way, is such a fucking cool name for the event.
I reckon it is. Like,
How long did it take you?
Not long, man. Like, sometimes I have a couple of these and like get all sorts of crazy ideas. I just got to filter through which ones are shit and which ones are good. But yeah, that was amazing. But I honestly, I don't listen to them anymore hardly at all.
Yeah.
Like,
do they still make music?
I think they do. How often and what they do, I don't know, because I sort of got lost on it. It just became a little bit too commercial for me. The skills are still there. Like, I still respect and love them, but you know, it's not me now. Like, I just don't listen to that.
I was on a massive bender one night when I was like, I would have been 19 or 20, and we ended up at this dude's house, and it was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and we were all fucked up. And I was talking to this dude, and I was like, what do you do? He's like, I'm in this group Terra Firma.
That's old school. Yeah.
And I was like, I have no idea who that is.
I think you mentioned that in a message once.
I was like, I have no idea who that is. But
see, like, I didn't, until I went back down so like I was saying before, I like sort of disregarded Aussie stuff when I was younger, and then like I moved on to UK stuff, and now I've sort of come back into Aussie stuff these last couple of years, maybe 2-3 years. And so I've started, that's the good thing about like hip hop and I guess any art, like, and one of the blessings of Spotify, even though like, I don't know, I think maybe it fucks over artists a bit, but like in terms of finding new stuff, new material, like as a punter, it enables you to dig for stuff. So like I go on these missions, like I'll search who featured on this and then like look at their catalogue and they've got a feature, I like that song, so I'll search that person's catalogue, and you end up finding these new people that you would never have found otherwise. Like in the old days, like when it was just all CDs and hard copies, or someone gives you a fucking like a pirated cassette, you don't find these artists. So it's a double-edged sword, I guess. But yeah, like I never knew about who Def, Wish, Cast, like Delta, the Australian. Like I think today is like the 18th anniversary. I saw a post of his album. I'd never heard of that when I was younger. I was like listening to heaps of rap, but I never heard of it. Now I listen to that, even like stands the test of time. Like it's killer. Like it's fucking sick. So it's good to be able to dig in. Like it's with the UK hip hop as well. Like discovering that you can dig in. You find Jest, you find Task Force, Chester P, like Farmer G, like all this stuff which I didn't listen to back then. But there's all this rich history of like proper stuff, and like they all formed all their art off of like the roots of hip hop, like in New York, and like the proper stuff, like when it meant something, like when it was not just following trends or like trying to sell shit, you know, like it was, you know, about the art and intelligence, like going into the lyrics, like stuff that sort of you can learn off of or get something out of, or I don't know, like proper skills, like proper meaningful sort of art.
Yeah, I fell out of fucking love with rap a long time ago, just because of there was a good 6 to fucking 8 years where just they were pushing the worst artists.
Yeah.
And if you weren't involved in the scene, and you had to really look for good music.
And that's the thing, man. Like you're constantly fed. Like
I feel bad for all these fucking kids that think this is good. Like, there's all these rappers. Like the other day, there was this massive controversy with this rapper called Playboy Cardi at the moment. He went, and I don't even know what the fuck that guy is. And then there's like all these other people, and it's like, who are these people? Like, are they? And they're the big rappers of today.
Bro,
like little peeps and fucking.
If you look online, I looked the other day. I was like showing. I think it was when I was like explaining sort of something. I think it was to my partner, like Kate, showing her, because she's not a hip hop person. She's like the opposite of that. And I was like, because for me, like I almost take offence to the fact that the least, I won't say least talented, but like, how do I word it? Like
the least talented artists are the biggest.
Yeah,
that's just what it is. They dress like freaks. They have a certain aesthetic and a certain mystique to them, and they fucking blow up.
Yeah, I don't know how to word it, but it's not to say some of those people aren't without talent, but like I look at the people who
they're not rappers, they're entertainers.
Yeah, well, I saw something the other day. So the lesson, like who. You know the lesson, like
the lesson podcast, Brails and
yeah. So like they put
DJ Sanchez.
They put a post up the other day, a couple of days ago, about has Aussie rap fallen off or something or other. I don't know, I can't remember. And it's like, well, I don't know, like because I don't listen to the commercial stuff, so I can't speak on it. But I know the things that I listen to, and like the old heads. So there's like people like Brad Strut who have like started like doing the triangles, like the project he's got with the triangles. He's been out of the game for a while. People like Black Teeth coming back out, Dielectrics like coming back out with something. They are fucking epic. Every single fucking song is sick. Mad skills, good beats. A lot of the beats, well not a lot, like half the beats are from new producers, like Kirby, like people like that.
Shout out to Kirby, he's a weapon.
Delhi, like he produced one of Strut's like Triangle series. I think like Treb One, like dudes from Pang, like Dill Thomas, he's got one of them. Like mad skills, like and awesome, like and the stuff that if you're a fan, you'll be able to listen to it in 20 years and it will still be sick. But then there's people on this like this poll they did saying, oh, how's the scene? And they're going, oh, it's fucking whack. Like the scene's been bad for 12 months. Like nothing good's come out. I'm like, what are you listening to?
Yeah, just drill shit.
What
That's
are
what
you
you're listening to.
You're
just listening to Western Sydney drill rap.
Yeah, like there is that much skillful stuff and awesome stuff that come out. Like, you probably haven't heard any of it on the radio. What do? Do you just drive around and listen to the radio and that's what you judge rap off? And like it fucking pisses me off, man. Like I look at like Chester P, like to me from Task Force, probably one of the most gifted poets you'll ever find. Like anyway, I don't know like normal poets like who are outside of music, like you know how Shakespeare is like a writer and whatnot. I couldn't name like a proper poet. You could put his shit next to their stuff and you tell me that it's not as good. Like unbelievable. And the bloke's like just living
You
where
posted something
just
about
living
him
where
the
he's
other day,
always
didn't
lived,
you?
like not rolling in money like all these other motherfuckers that is like spitting out this shit, this garbage, this like mass produced shit. And it's like, I don't know, I get upset for it. Like.
And all of them, what people don't understand is all of your favourite rappers and artists at the moment don't write any of their own shit.
That to me, like that disqualifies it.
Like none of them write their own shit.
Nah, like that.
Drake, the biggest artist in the world at the moment.
I couldn't tell you one of his songs, bro.
I couldn't either, but
I don't give a fuck how good it is.
I can tell you
just
he
will not
doesn't
listen to
write
it.
his own fucking music.
I don't know. And I will never know. And it's like lots of those places, like those people. I'm like I said, I want to listen to it. I want to hear like, oh, this bloke went through some shit, and now he's like coming good. Like now he's like, you know, and he's telling you about the journey. Or like when I was younger, I wanted to hear about someone like, I don't know, some cursor tracks where he's like going out like talking about pingers and like chicks and like whatever. Like that's real. You know, that appeals to someone because it's like what he's talking about. You never hear that on the radio. All these motherfuckers that will say rap's dead or, you know, this and that. They will never hear like the stuff, like the most skillful and most insightful stuff and the stuff you can learn from and the stuff that is important. These peanuts will never hear about it, you know? And like, I don't know. Maybe that's cool. Like maybe it is cool that it's underground and it's like a community. I don't know, but like at the same time, like I just think the world's fucked.
People would rather hear about like Drake's 19th breakup than
bro. I don't know. I don't say nothing on that bloke. I don't know anything about him. I just you know. And the thing that I was just trying to tell you before, I was thinking about. I wonder who is like the most. You said like is hip hop. Is Hilltop Hoods the most influential artist ever? You know,
from Australia.
Yeah, you know, I was looking at the other day. Iggy Azalea's downloads.
Oh, but she's obviously for different reasons.
But this goes to the conversation. Who's the biggest Australian rap artist? Every one of the songs is like 600 million, 700 million. Broke. Like there's dudes that I listen to religiously that I love that don't even crack 10,000 that are amazing. That's sad. I'm not saying like the artists. I'm just sad that the public or the people that don't. That, like people should be listening to that stuff.
Yeah, but do you know what? When you look at that, people like Iggy Azalea, they sold out onto what they. They're not. Her music career lasted fucking 5 years. She's retired now. Like she's
still putting out.
No, she doesn't.
Trash.
She's retired from music.
Is she?
Because it's like you can sell your fucking soul and do what the big companies say you should do, and then you'll do well. But then you're stuck in a box of doing shit you fucking hate.
Right.
Like forever. Imagine getting famous.
It probably just goes to the character of the person, I guess.
Imagine getting famous, doing shit you hate, and then having to do that because it's your source of income because you've become accustomed to a certain lifestyle. That's why I see all these people with podcasts and YouTube channels and shit, and it's like, oh, you're doing this for views, but there's no way you fucking enjoy this. And you have to do this from now on.
Some people are fucked, mate. Some people love it. Some people just like.
I'd rather this podcast never fucking do well than have to do some stupid shit to fucking cater for people's needs.
Realness is always best, and like realness is the only way to go. But like, some people don't. That's not the way they live, bro. They're happy to fake it to you make it, and then they'll like all 6ix9ine and all that sort of shit, like Island Boys, like bro.
That's what I mean.
But they're famous, like, and that dude, like the Joker, like, have you seen that cunt with the Joker? You would have seen him, like, he's not a big rapper or anything, but like
Stitches.
Well, that's another good example.
I love Stitches. It's funny.
He's funny, yeah. Shock value. Like, I love watching his. That's the thing. Like, I'll watch his. Stitches. Like, if I see like a video, I'm like, I'll watch it because it's just like shock value. Like, is this real? Like, is this an actual person?
Oh.
But like, I'm not sitting there listening to his music. But you know what? A lot of other fucking people are.
And like enjoying it.
And it's like...
Have you seen that cunt from
Russia?
Russia? What's his name?
And I feel like he's got like the scar. He's like had like a tattoo scar thing.
Yeah,
full big.
They
like,
did a doco on him on YouTube, and he's like an absolute maniac. He's a
proper
cokehead.
gangster, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he did it just triggered me because he done a song with Stitches as well.
Yeah,
it's like the dream team.
Yes. Bro,
it's the dream team.
But
you can see there's a
the
video.
The world is like, what's happening, man? The world is like a bad place.
There's a video of him. This little Indian dude from Vice has gone over to Russia to fucking interview this guy.
I know who you're talking about.
And he's walked out of his house with a gun and started wagging it at this guy, and this little kid's fucking followed him around on tour, and he's at a show, and before he starts the show he's just doing massive slugs of cocaine, and he's like, I need to get ready for my show, and this dude's like, what have I got myself into?
It's like, I don't know, but that's, it's interesting, and
Shock
like it
value.
is, like I'm not gonna say like it's like the car crash thing. Like you drive past, you look at it, but to think that people listen to it day in and day out, that's what fucks me out. I need a piss. Can
you need a piss? I can pause it. Pause. His name is Popek. Popek, my man. If you're ever in Australia, I would love to do a podcast with you. We'll see. Oh, actually, probably
get the bowl of actual slugs.
He'll
snort the actual slugs.
Dude, he would my toxic trait is I'll fucking get to anyone's level that they want me to be at, so I'll end up cutting my toes off. Mushroom Whisperer, you got some merch as well.
Yeah, I've had some little bits and pieces here and there. Had a couple.
Do you order X amount and then try and sell them, or what's the go? Because I did a merch drop once.
Yeah.
And I did some mischief by accident. I sold like 100 and something jumpers, but because I got ADHD brain, I forgot who I sold them to, and no one ever hit me up for them. So I got like,
did you speak about this in one of your podcasts?
I've got like 20 that I just have not been claimed.
You're like the dude from Fire Festival.
Yeah,
or
I legit, I fucking did some
you're
broading.
You're Logan Paul, like promising like
crypto
NFTs where animals fuck each other or whatever it is. Like, it's not happening. But
so do you buy like X amount and?
Nah, never.
No,
because I don't have the money to be holding shit that I don't sell. So I just run like little short merch runs. So like if I come up with a dope design or like a local writer comes up with something or whatever the thing is, I just like pump it hard for like a week or so on Insta.
I got an absolute
whatever the orders are, order the orders, and then boom.
I got a banger design that is going to be coming out, but I got to figure out a better way to do it than the last time I did a merch drop. I'll show you the exclusive.
What do you do it through? How did they order it?
That's the thing now. I don't know. My mate
through DMs.
Well, last time it was through DMs, and I just took money.
Too hard, bros.
It was a headache. But
this is Square site.
This is the concept. This dude.
Shopify or something.
Shout out to Yappy, Alex Yap. He's a tattooist. He he's doing the design for me because he's just a mad dog. But that's the start of it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's going to be a good little merch shop. But I want to do that drop shipping shit.
Is that where other people
print to order
and
send it out for you? Print to order, yeah. I don't want to make money on it. I just want people.
Well, I don't make money off it. I keep it affordable. Like for me, it's just I get a kick out of someone wants to buy something.
Do you know what though? My last merch drop, if I charged every single person the amount I charged strangers, because I lost money on that because I gave so many away.
Yeah. And that's the trick. That's
it was my first merch drop. I was like, fuck it. I want all my mates and my family to have one. So I lost money on it.
So I won't eat for a week.
Yeah, I just won't eat. And I did the maths. If I charged everyone, I would have made like 4 Gs just off that merch drop. And then I was like, how much are these YouTubers making when they're selling 100,000 units in a day? Like merch is where the money's at.
Yeah, it's definitely a money maker, but it comes down to mindset again. Like we were saying before, like selling your soul. It's not selling your soul to sell merch. I shouldn't put it like that. But
if you're selling a quality product,
yeah, exactly, and you're passionate about what you're doing and you're putting out something good, then there shouldn't be a problem with like adding a little snippet for yourself on it. But I'm maybe similar to you. Like I'm like,
It's
you know,
like
I want people to. No, it's not blood.
No,
begging,
I
but
thought it's like I want my mates to all have it for free.
Yeah, I do a bit of that. Like, there's always people that don't order through the website. They'll message and they go, "Oh, can you hook us up?" No, not even that. They'll just say, "Oh, I wouldn't mind one." So
Yeah.
like me straight away, I'll be like, "Oh yeah, don't go
Sort
through
it
the
out.
website. I'll sort you out." But then if you like, as you get bigger and you keep doing that, it's like, well, you're actually shooting yourself in the foot. Like it puts stress on. You know, like you might want a new camera or you might want something else, but you like there's money's like leaking out because you're just trying to, you know, give people freebies and shit.
One thing I am going to change with the podcast this year is I need to stop being as shy as I am with sponsorships and shit, because it does feel like begging, asking people if they would like to be sponsors. But I see people with a quarter of the views of my podcast with fucking weekly sponsors that are paying for shit. And it's like, fuck it. 'Cause obviously they don't have the...
Yeah.
They're fine with asking people.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's such a weird concept to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's probably because you
Even like approaching businesses for you for the start would have been, was it awkward for you?
Yeah, for sure. Because you're doing something new that you don't fully understand. So you're nervous about it.
You got to
anyway.
take a gamble on
But
you.
like the people you're approaching, like, you know, this dude might have been a chef for 15 years. So it's like what, like, you know, you feel like automatically okay. And this is at the start. Like I've sort of snapped myself out of that. But like at the start, you feel like you're coming in as a peasant, like, you know, oh, I'm not on their level. Like, it's an imposter syndrome. Like,
Yeah.
you fake it till you make it, sort of thing. Or if you're like a person that's got more of a conscience, you'll be like, you start to doubt yourself like that.
I have that. But I wholeheartedly believe I'm going to be the biggest podcast in Australia within the next 4 years.
Yeah.
I fucking really believe that. And I don't think, like, I don't think anyone wants that as much as I do. And it's like, everyone does podcasts because they like seen podcasts and they're like, oh, I could do this. I've been studying podcasts for fucking 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I used to listen
Since
to.
they started, when did they start?
Dude, I was watching Joe Rogan when he was up to episode fucking 100.
Yeah.
Like, I've been watching I fell out of love with music because I fell in love with podcasts.
Yeah, right.
Because I could just chuck a earphone in or chuck an aux cord on, and instead of listening to music, I could listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
And to me, it's just such a time waster. It's like, and it keeps my brain ticking.
Yeah.
Because I got such an ADHD brain, I can listen to a podcast about fucking mushrooms growing, and then I can go and listen to a podcast with an ex-veteran, and then I can do you know what I mean?
And then you know everything, and then you just go talk shit in the comment section and just tell everyone that they don't know what they
And I've always been a YouTuber. I love YouTube.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I've never, honestly, bro, I can't, I just listen to music non-stop. My Spotify is like fucking 70,000 hours or whatever a year, like, you know, it's like top end of the fucking spectrum, but it's just music. Like, I reckon I had a couple of hours of podcasts.
do you know how many?
But there's lots of people that aren't like me. Like, yeah.
Do you know how many hours I listened to podcasts during peak COVID? 23,000 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because of my job.
Yeah.
I could 23,000 minutes, or was it hours? It was
It'd be hours.
It was a lot. No, it was hours.
I don't know.
It was hours because I would have my AirPods in at work.
Yeah.
From when I left home at 7 a.m.
It's got to be minutes.
It would be minutes.
100 days, 24 hours a day,
It'd be minutes.
24,000
It'd be minutes.
hours
But
in 100 days.
13,000 of them was fucking Joe Rogan. And the rest was miscellaneous podcasts.
Yeah.
But I'd have my AirPods in from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. at night. I'd have one AirPod in because during COVID, customers couldn't come into the shop.
Yeah.
So it was sweet.
Yeah. I reckon old mate Joe was like one of the little sneaky gateways into me doing mushrooms. Because remember there was like a period when that Paul Stamets dude that he's had on a few times? Yeah. That was one of the guys.
mushy god.
Yeah, and he's got the hat made out of mushrooms. The beard, yeah. I think that was the night that I got sidetracked onto all the stuff, to be honest, because I remember he was talking about mushrooms and microdosing and.
But you were still a cyber user when you were younger?
Oh, I had a little bit here and there, but not really. No.
Really?
No, like almost none. Like,
Yeah, I've had some fucking bad nights
Yeah.
on mushies.
had since, but not like when I was younger. Like,
Oh.
definitely not when I was out, man. Like, to me, that's not something you have to go out. Like, I don't know.
No, it's not a go to town.
That'd be
drive.
like a chill out thing. Same as like if you're gonna have cat or something like that. I'd be like, I'm not fucking going out for that, bro. Like,
Was there like a drug scene you don't have to answer this. Was there a scene for drug? You didn't have to partake in it, but did you notice that there was a scene for drugs in Jakarta?
nah, I
Because
was like
they straight up fucking kill you over there for that shit.
yeah, no, that's not something I was like around. Like, for starters, like being in the embassy there, like just the risk factor. Like, I would never even.
Even that marijuana's legal in Thailand now, I still wouldn't do it.
Nah, because
It freaked me out.
this is the thing about those
they'd be
places.
like joking, and then they'd just cut your hands off.
This is the thing about those places. So, I know I speak from experience, like working at the embassy and seeing like behind the scenes, like with people that deal with this stuff on a government level. Like, you can get away with anything and everything over there.
If you got enough money.
99.9% of the times, but every once in a while, something might have happened, whether it's on the world stage or there just might be some reason for some fucking unknown reason, but they might want to make an example out of
A
someone.
Chappelle Colby event.
I don't know. Like, I think she probably
She did it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that bitch still? Is she? She's in. She's just like no one's
You
done.
just check if we're the right.
Yeah, yeah, good, you're good. No one's done. Has she done podcasts or anything? Like what?
Bro, I don't pay attention to that shit.
Dude, that was huge back in the day. Was that in your era of living over in that end?
Nah, that was before that.
That was before that.
Yeah, but that you can do things, but then I've heard the time they choose to make an example out of someone.
You're fucked.
Yeah, because the penalty is death.
Yeah.
I ain't about to like risk that just to have some pinger that's probably not even a pinger. You know
That's
what I mean?
like in Thailand, obviously there'll be people that will try and bait you into buying drugs because they work with the police. But you're not getting fucked for the cocaine. You're getting fucked for the meth that's in the cocaine.
Yeah, like what are you getting, bro? You can't
Yeah.
even get like real stuff here. Like, what do you like? It's just I don't know. I guess if you know the right people and you
No,
connect
there
them,
is not a fuck. When I went to Japan, there was people. There's this part of Tokyo where they sell marijuana, and they were like, they know they sell it there. It's pretty safe to buy there. I still wouldn't do it.
until they decide.
Yeah.
Oh, let's grab someone and
And
fucking.
Japanese people do not fuck around like with
Bro, you reckon
nothing.
Jakarta do? Like,
Oh.
I mean, Indonesia, like, they're like a friend. You go there, like most people have only ever had exposure. Like, you go to Bali and they're, like,
Jakarta's
super
not.
friendly and
Jakarta's not
bloody
really a place that people like Westerners really travel to.
Fuck no.
Yeah,
It's well, I shouldn't say it's a show. It's not. It's not a tourist-friendly location,
it's a nitty gritty.
bro. When it's busy, all right. So like when it's busy, that city has back then, like when I was there, the population of Australia was pretty much in the city. But if there was like Ramadan, so like Ramadan, you'll know Ramadan through UFC.
It's major, yeah, because all the best fighters don't fight during fucking Ramadan.
Yeah. So like when that's on, all the people,
It's majority Muslim there, yeah.
yeah, like Indonesia, I think is 90-something% Muslim.
Yeah, right.
Don't quote me, but it's like something like that. And you got to remember, so there's 300 million people.
In Indonesia,
Yeah,
really?
it's the fourth or
That's
fifth
dense
most
as
populous.
fuck. It's not that big.
Bro, it's tiny. It's tiny. So like, what is there? There's China, India, US. I'm gonna say they might be coming in after that.
I'd love to go to fucking China. I've been looking at China. I've been looking at it, and I'm like, do you know what? It looks good.
It looks amazing.
It looks good. I reckon the West just gets influxed with negative propaganda about China. Obviously, because of the government. The government's
For a reason.
Governments everywhere are fucking horrible. Just because their government's smarter and more organised than ours, it's not their fault. Like, fucking, it's not the people that live there's fault.
Nah.
Like, our government's no fucking angel. Our government's horrible.
Yeah, all governments.
All governments are horrible. We're lucky that we don't live in a government where every time there's a change of guard that there has to be a war. We're very lucky in that regard. But
We just do that by proxy.
yeah,
Just like Look at the middle years.
Does anyone actually think that whether you tick a little box for Labor or Liberal that anything's going to change? Do people still think that?
I think they do, bro.
But it's like how?
I don't know. I don't know. I've become pretty cynical with politics and shit.
Well, it's true though, because like whether you tick whatever box, they're still going to do whatever the fuck they want.
They're very dishonest. Yeah, you should honestly, man. Well, I don't know. It might not be up your.
I should run for PM.
That's not what I was going to say, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, do it. What would your party be called?
The Sesh.
The Sesh. The Sesh party.
The Sesh party. I want all my mates to have cheaper alcohol and cigarettes.
Where do I tick?
Do you know how
everything's legalised?
The alcohol? No, because Canada did that and it hasn't worked out well for them. But at least bring the tax down on alcohol and cigarettes in Australia.
But then, don't we have to pay more tax on fucking...
Let's lower the minimum wage.
Nah. You don't want to end up like America where every time you go get a burger, you got a tip and all that shit. Like over there, where like what's the minimum wage? Like $8-9 and stuff. Like that's whack, man.
Oh,
like,
you got a tip in America? I forgot about that. I'm going
America's
to Vegas.
America's a mess.
I'm going to Vegas.
America is like a smoke and mirrors, bro. Like
I don't fuck with it.
It's so powerful, but it's... I don't know, man. Like they got a lot of fucking problems.
They got a lot of issues.
Yeah, and I would never like try and discuss now like what's better and what not. But
so you got $6 billion. Fix the world.
How much?
$6 billion.
Oh yeah, fucking that's a drop of piss in the ocean.
It is, isn't it?
6 trillion is a drop in the fucking ocean. Like I don't know, man. I don't know. Counting down till the robots take over.
Australia's pretty good. We're pretty lucky here.
We are very lucky, but at the same time, there's probably like a huge segment of the population that feels like life sucks. Like I don't know. Like I haven't come from a battler background, but like
yeah, life sucks. Well, fuck. Life wait up. There we go. Life can suck here. But imagine life sucking in fucking South America. Your life would suck a lot more sucking there. Do you know what I mean? I feel like Australian hardships are nowhere near as hard as other countries.
Do you know? I don't know. Like, do you know like what it's like for the worst of the worst here? I don't. I reckon it would still be fucked for the worst off.
It'd be bad because that's their scenario. It would be bad. It would be bad in the scale of Australia, but I feel like being poor in say Vietnam or Thailand would be a worse existence.
Here's a story. So in Jakarta, like where I lived in Jakarta, so we, like I told you, it was like designated, like it was the same level as Afghanistan. So it was like the level, I can't remember how many levels, but it was like the highest risk place. So we all lived in compounds. And when I say compounds, like secure apartment complexes. Which means... No, it was like just a secure high-rise.
Yeah.
But we lived like fucking kings, bro. Like our place was 3 bed, 3 bath. This will lead us on to our next conversation. Every bathroom had the
day.
The 5...
Yeah.
Nah, probably like 10 or 12 settings on the toilets. Oh. But like, we'll talk about that because I'm on your side. I think we need to convert people.
Dude, use my discount code and buy one.
I've seen it. If we ever build a house, I told Kate I want one. Like
120 bucks,
yeah.
Clips onto your toilet.
I'm not getting that shit. I'm getting like the proper...
Perfect segue.
The Rolls Royce.
Perfect. Before you continue, if you go on toodaloo.com.au and you use code SESH at checkout, you get a nice little discount. 10 people in the past month have bought one.
I've seen you. I know. I was surprised, bro. That's good.
Just came out of nowhere.
Influence. Traction.
But continue. 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom.
Like, just tight. Like, it's... Like, you live like rock stars over there. Like, and you go downstairs, there was 2 30-metre pools. Like, palm trees everywhere. Like, the rent that the government was paying per place was something like $6,000 a month.
Yeah.
A month. $6,000 US. So, say that's 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
2.5 grand a week. Like, that doesn't exist in Adelaide. You can't get a place that flash.
Yeah.
Like, ridiculous. And But you walk outside of our walls and there's streets lined with people in squalor. Yeah. And so that was leads to the story I was saying. So there was this like little group of kids, like tiny kids, bro, like tiny, skinny little fucking kids, 2 to 5 years old, I'm going to say, but you can't tell. Sometimes like the 8 and 9 year olds look like 5-year-olds
because they haven't
grown. Yeah, and it's fucking sad, man. Like and that's the thing. A lot of people that were there, they're just oblivious. Like they just think they're shit up. Like as in that people that I live with, like other expats who don't really have like the heart. Like they just drive around and think they're sick and they don't look at it. But like I was out amongst them, like walking around. I used to go on heaps of runs. So like I was running a lot then. So I'd run. They used to say security wise, like don't go running. I'd go for 10k runs. I was training for a marathon then, so I'd go on 3-hour runs out through the kampungs. So kampungs is like villages. So I'd go running out like just mad like exploration journeys, and it is shocking. Like full like rivers like that are sewers, like untreated shit, just flowing through these rivers, and they're like dropping stuff into it and cleaning stuff, like. The dudes that are cooking stuff, like they're dropping fucking plates and stuff down into the drains to wash and like serving food on it, like proper like poverty, or I don't know what you call it, like just third world sort of shit. And these kids, like these little kids, I started like when I was sort of fresh to it and didn't really, like wasn't sort of hip to what was going on. I used to give them food every day, which is cool. Like I still did that until the day I left, because they eat it straight away. Like, and that's cool. Like you see them eat it. After a while, I was like, these kids are in rags. I took them to the little shop there, and they said, don't do that, because like locals will think, like, yeah, you're some creepy white fuck, like trying to fuck kids or something, and you know, like it's a bad look. I was like, well, I'm gonna do it anyway, you know. I'll buy them clothes. Like these 4 or 5 kids, I bought them clothes, had them all looking slick. You know what? The next day, they were back out in their rags. And I was like, what the fuck's going on with that? And I said to someone like, what's going on there? And I said, they send the kids out. Yeah. They don't want them looking good. They don't want them looking nice, because then no one gives them money. Yeah. And I was like, that's like
bad. When I went to Europe, you would just be sitting at a restaurant and the parents will send a kid up that has an arm missing just to beg for money for
There's ones that have open wounds. Yeah. They keep the wounds open.
Yeah, just so they can beg harder.
Because the traffic moves so slow, you might be in the same spot for 10 minutes. You'll be at a roundabout, like they can congregate around roundabouts and intersections. You'll be in your cars, because we all had drivers and shit. You're in the back seat, and they'll come. They know. They come up to they don't come up to the front. They come up to the back window. I can't ignore them. I put it down a little bit. If I got a little bit of coin, like I'll slip them some coin. Like even if you know, maybe sometimes you're feeding. It's organised crime. Like that, the organised crime over there includes. They have like armies of kids that go out and get money.
But
it's just a fact. That's not like a maybe. That's happened.
You got to think those kids didn't want to do that. They're getting.
Fuck no, I'm not blaming the kids, man. I feel sorry for the kids.
They're basically getting fucking pimped out to do that.
Word. No, the dogs that like that, those people that organise it, they should be shot. Yeah. But so you give them the money, like I don't know, like because you sort of think, well, maybe they will get to eat. I don't know. Maybe if they come home without any money, maybe they get bashed. Maybe they get fucking killed. I don't know.
That's what I mean by there's a difference between Australia poor and other countries poor.
Mate.
Because
people here have no idea.
It's like, would you rather, if no one's ever left Australia,
you have no idea.
Would you rather be Bankstown poor or Ecuador poor?
Bro.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Or would you rather be Syria poor? Like it's just a fucking. If your whole existence is living in Melbourne, Sydney, Adelaide, Queensland,
you don't know.
You have no idea the lengths people will go to get a fucking loaf of bread in another country.
But that said, like if you live here and that's all you know,
then it's bad for you.
Yeah, but so you know, as me that knows someone that other areas are worse, I don't discount these local people's experience.
Yeah, I would never discount it. All I'm saying is there's no $750 fortnightly checks coming in Jakarta.
Right. Mate, you'll fucking starve to death.
There is not a Centrelink in fucking South America.
No. No,
And the value of life in those countries is very low.
they don't care, bro. There's like they still
They'll
got
leave
things.
dead bodies. I've never been to India, but I've heard the poverty in some parts of India is so startling it will give you PTSD.
Bro, the Ganges, like their holy river, they're plucking bodies out of the Ganges all time, every day.
Just from malnutrition and shit. And
That, like, who knows why? That,
Yeah.
maybe people trafficking, maybe people starving, maybe, I don't know, they get pretty crazy with their women over there. Like, there's a lot of honour killings and stuff. Like, it's full, and that's in Indonesia as well. Like, you get, like, husbands and brothers and shit that are killing chicks, like sisters, because they fucking wore a skirt.
And yeah, that's another thing. There's a lot of this woke culture doesn't exist in a lot of countries.
There's a funny video, man, like on, I don't know what it is, I saw it on YouTube, where it's someone, I can't even remember, but like they take like the issues here, so like whether it's I don't really want to talk about this sort of stuff, but like I'll say, like,
you don't have to get too
yeah,
political
but
with
like
it.
say for example, like biological men competing in women's sport.
Yeah.
But they were taking these concepts, not just that, but like other ones, and they were taking it to like villages, like proper villages in Africa, and just like traditional places, you know, untouched by Western sort of stuff. And they were saying, oh, like, how often does this happen, or what does this happen? And like when the people heard it, they were like, what are you talking about? Like, what? And like the dudes started laughing, and they're like,
What do you mean?
Yeah, like. So I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know. I don't want to talk about that shit.
The world is a interesting and hard place to navigate.
Yeah, it's tricky, man. It's not getting any better either.
It is a school night, so we will cut it off shortly. But I do want to throw the dates and times of this event soon, because this is the main reason why we're here. The 6th of April.
Yeah, 6th of April, Saturday, 6th of April. So it's a dinner event, collision courses.
Brad Strut is headlining. You would say headlining if you want to be a traditionalist.
Well, not even headlining. He's the feature act.
He's the feature
one
act.
and only there with Doc Felix on the sound curation. So he's got like a specific sort of vibe that he's going for the night, which is you know, it's not your average show. Yeah, very unique, and got some awesome chefs, like 4 chefs cooking up some hectic dishes
from locally grown. Obviously, will everything be mushroom based, or
no? So for this one, so some of my ones have been like every food item has been mushrooms. This one, I just said to the chefs, look, just
do your thing,
do your best.
The mushrooms are on the house.
I think I did say that, or did I say they'll be cheaper? I can't remember.
20% discount.
Yeah. Anyway, like, so it's like what you said before. Like, it's not a money making thing. Like,
passion
this
project.
is well, the goal is to not have it cost me anything.
Make your money back.
But yeah, the food is going to be top shelf. Like, we got king oyster ice cream with mushroom tamari. We got some crazy, what did I send you? I don't know, guanciale. How do you pronounce
guanciale?
Guanciale, like proper hectic, you know.
The food as a ex chef, the food does look fucking amazing.
Yeah.
The talent is amazing. April 6th, as of this week,
and it's $100. That's what you asked before.
And do you know what?
So it's a flat hungy.
For, was it 4 courses?
Yeah, when I say course, like courses sort of makes it sound like you're sitting down at a dinner table. So like,
4
lots of food coming out.
4 lots of food.
The aim is like you leave there and you're not going to be having to go to KFC across the road.
No.
So, you know, like if you look at a normal Brad Strut show, that's $50-$60. So, you know,
if you go to a restaurant, this would be like another 70.
Dude, the food at a restaurant will be $100 by itself.
Boom.
So it's value. Like, honestly, I wanted to charge more initially, but like I just at the same time wanted to keep it affordable and attractive, being the first one, and just to make it like super good value, unique, and to not have a barrier of like, oh fuck, that costs too much. Like, I just break even is cool.
Everyone get around him. April 6th, $100 at the Mushy Lair. Westside Mushies on Instagram and all social medias. if you go on there, just fucking buy a ticket, support local events. He supports more locals than anyone in Adelaide. I don't ask my fans to ever go buy shit. But if you're into hip-hop or you're into nice food, I really recommend you go do this event so we can have some more cool shit like this in Adelaide. I fucking appreciate you coming on, Adam.
Cheers, brother.
You are one of the gentlemen of South Australia. And I hope we will do this again one day, but we'll do it with Goobsy or something. So you can geek out on some
hip-hop
rap, and I'll just sit there as a guest.
Yeah, we could tee up a mushy lair tour. This is what we spoke about with when you were doing the bum me thing. I was going to give you like a underground safari of the west side, take you to a few like local underground Vietnam restaurants and a couple of local breweries. Get you into the mushy shed, show you the mushies.
We'll get something done. We'll do some shit this year. Yeah. I appreciate you for coming on, brother.
All right, brother. Thank you. Cheers, bro.